Hello everyone, Conor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the hedges, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull. Hello everyone, you're listening to the Limitless Lap Differences podcast, your perfect blend of cars, tractors, and everything in between. I'm Conor.
I am Michael. What's the crack, folks?
And you're listening to episode
77, because Conor still doesn't know how to count. 77 episodes in. How about that?
How long wee minute, big phone, wee pocket.
What's the crack anyway?
So, you're joining us today. No, we didn't buy a John Deere any team. Gethin didn't sell me a John Deere and all that, but this is the coat that I got with the very first Kramer.
Do they not do Kramer coats or any Kramer merchandise?
Well, I've seen some of them, you know, in Kramer coats like since, but haven't received one yet now, to be fair. But this coat, believe it or not, is 6 years old.
Oh, why? Isn't it good enough, Nick?
But it gets more.
I was going to say that's because you don't want to be showing the John Deere stuff off.
Wore it to work one time and somebody commented and went, "When did you change?" And I went, "I didn't."
And then they're kind of like, right?
It could have got farm use, but I didn't want to just.
No, it's nearly too clean for that as well, to be fair.
Aye, but what's new with myself? On the topic of tractors, the Massey became a boat, and the NC tanker became a floating slurry tanker.
You're going to end up like that picture the Red House Holsteins put up a few weeks back.
What's that?
The picture of the boat trailing the slurry tanker. If you haven't seen it, I'll show it to you after.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't be up for a bit of controversy at all or anything like.
No.
Hello, David, if you're listening.
But yeah, so we get totally beat at home.
Yeah, I haven't even.
And it was one bit of ground we have that there's no fencing around, and we just take a couple of cuts of silage off it. And
I suppose right enough, you would never have cattle in that field.
No. So essentially, it was like, right, we'll go and try it.
You know,
anyway.
I've never lifted a load of grass out of that field in my own tractor, because every time we land down there, it's.
You did the very first year.
No, I was driving your tractor.
No. The very first time you brought your tractor down
With the wee Fraser.
with a wee tiny one.
Oh, did I?
You got a load out of that.
Aye, because the big Fraser the big Fraser the last 2 years, and then the 14 ton trailer. Everybody else, because they're all driving bigger and faster tractors, I just let them tear on ahead, and then it gets the last row.
It wouldn't be the best crop of grass ever really off it. So, excuse me. If there's 4 or 5 drawn on the 4 acre field,
aye, the 4 get it, and then I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then the first boys normally are like, if we normally head to like Artloan or something after, sure, they're overtaking me in the road again. It's just like, oh.
That's right, indeed. I forgot about that, but yeah. So brother went and tried it with a load, and he had to head on. So then I went down and after it, and look, as a term we would use, the field was really green on it. Essentially, like you were carrying, you seen where the lugs had been, but we weren't
not damaging.
but we weren't digging up.
Fair.
Now, a couple of loads in, whenever I got round, now I wouldn't have the best knowledge in the world, and there's no point in saying that I do about in regards to like where the real wet spots would be in some of the ground. Well, the brother, like years ago, whenever we didn't get a contractor in for the first go of slurry, he would put it out. He would know exactly where every wet spot is. And as it was coming around anyway, there's a telegraph pole in the field, and it was coming around anyway, the corner of it, and I was like, right, we'll go out round it and dodge it. And then I just looked down at the grass, and you could see the soil,
and you were just like,
and I just seen damp and went, oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Through the
PTO was
gears.
still going. I was like, edge out, and then just looked behind me and went, fuck.
you know a wide angle shaft?
No, never ever have I used a wide angle shaft. Don't know what it's like.
Peasant. Great job.
Ugh.
Deadly job. If you got a wide angle shaft, you would never go back.
Probably not. And to be fair, like the Moshe spread plate we have requires pressure because it's obviously a much bigger outlet than your typical.
Yeah, you'd be
splash
far
bait.
better off. Like I know whenever I spread with a wide angle shaft and Donald's setup, you just can keep the pressure on all the time. Great job, as long as you're not jackknifing, obviously. But
we'll put it this way: I was turning very slowly, and here, out of the pump because obviously the shaft turned a wee bit, but do no harm for the wee small amount I was doing it, and I was going out round, and the back tyres of the tractor with a wee bit of the weight of the tanker on it was like you could see where the soil was sort of edging up a bit. And I went, fuck. And then the tanker came by in it and made it wider. And I went, that's another day's problem.
That sounds like Conor's problem in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, so...
you out throwing grass seed on.
No, to be fair, it wasn't even really that bad. So, drive on around the telegraph pole and got onto another dryer bit and spread a bit more. And I went, right, tanker's obviously lighter, tractor's technically lighter because there's less weight from the tanker on the tractor. So basically shot her into reverse and reverse right back, and then started to spread again. And there's a wee tiny bit where it's not spread, but
you'd be grand.
Look, I've seen what other people have been using between supposedly was it dumpers on tracks.
Jeff Atchison has the wee crawler yuck.
And the wee crawler yuck as well, with just, your umbilical system that's been mounted in the back of it. Look, it's been a total disaster.
I've never seen it as wet.
Like, as some folk have said that there's, in England, there's meant to be, the authorities have been possibly handing out fines and that because people are spreading on waterlogged ground. But at the same time, you have to think of the animal welfare too. At the same time, you can't have animals walking through.
Yeah, this is the problem. And then you see the people who've never farmed a day in their life on Facebook going like, just make bigger tanks. And it's like, that costs money. And it's like,
well, it's not even that there. You cannot get planning permission.
No, you can't.
Or new sheds and that there.
Yeah, and it's like even on top of that, it's like, okay, yeah, people have the capacity for what they have, but you take excess rainfall, first of all, that's going to run more water into your tanks, especially if you have an open lagoon. And second of all, like, if you have enough capacity, but say, okay, so we were grand right up until the ban, in fairness, like the weather did stay dry, but we had good weather for another 2 weeks after the ban, if I remember rightly. And I think November wasn't great, and then we had a nice wee spell in December. Like, there's no reason. I get, don't spread in the frost, don't spread when it's ridiculously waterlogged, but like, common sense should prevail. I think we talked about this in the last podcast, I can't remember, but I've said it that much recently. Common sense should prevail. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, there's that, and I suppose you don't know everybody's situation at the same time too. There's obviously TB, is a disease that's affecting more and more. That's the other thing
as well. Like, if you're down with TB
you've excess stock levels that you wouldn't normally have.
Well, say you've 300 animals like of yourself, right? And you can't sell, you're birthing, 70 or 80 calves, right, in a year. We
went from about 170 to 190, say roughly around that, in 18 months, till 280. There's another 100 head, if you know what I mean. I
was going to say,
and they shouldn't piss as much as the previous 100. I was going to
say you've another 80, but like you've actually went up nearly 100, and yeah, like, and obviously it's like, okay, you can't plan for that. It's like, yeah, do you think you want to be sitting feeding more animals, biting into your meal and all that there, and eating more silage that you hadn't cut? Now I know silage isn't really so much of a problem for you, but like, there's some people there would have enough to feed what they have, and then as soon as TB comes, it's like, oh, shit, I don't know what I can do here. And it is. I've seen it happen with our farmers as well. Like, it's cruel, like, but here, it's just people. The wrong people are making the wrong moves, in my opinion. And that's just that.
But look, I
have a sore eyelid for some reason.
We got a bit out, bit of relief. And it's grand obviously for a couple of weeks, and then you're hoping that the dry weather will come and then you get the rest of it out. And to be fair to all, like, any spreading that has been done at the minute, it's literally just for a bit of relief.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Nobody's
going and
actually
putting
properly-
everything out.
No.
You know,
You couldn't.
because again, as we said before, there's no point. Fertilizer's that expensive. You know, it's just up £25 a tonne there this last couple of weeks, and therefore your slurry, you know, at the end of the day, it's free. It's coming from the cow.
Yeah.
You want to
utilise it. Like,
yeah. But other than the fact that I actually got out on the field, and I'm as shocked as you were. You weren't really as shocked at all. You were too busy with other things.
I haven't stopped.
And you know what? I will eat my words. I have to say I will eat my words, and you're probably going, how, why, what, where. So I get home, and it was the following day after you had made a purchase, and I went, you wouldn't believe what that man has bought now. And then I described what you bought, and I'll not give it away just now. But he turned around and said, "Oh, geez, they were a great job back in the day." And I went, "Fuck." Fair enough, okay. And he was like, "Sure, that's what we used to use." And I was like, "Fair enough." And then I explained, he was like, "I know, they're just the thing you sort of have to know what you're doing with one of them, if you know what I mean."
Oh, well, I don't, so.
If you know, they're a great job once you used to it, basically.
There's a method in madness. I'll explain everything very quickly because I know we're sort of pushed for time here. But I'll go through everything. I'll clear all my watch news, and I'll come on to that as well. Because before that, I have the NC pretty much done. I haven't the guards put on it. Before you come and shoot my health and safety, I want to be able just to check certain things, and I want to be able to see certain things. So there's wee bits and pieces that it needs to finesse to finish it off, but I've got a new shaft in, new Harley splicer, a lot of learning for it being a pretty basic bit of kit. It's now solid. It's now, by building two into one, I'm now left with a really, really solid machine. So hoping this gearbox is the better job, because the last one I had, there's actually a problem with the box itself. The input shaft sits too far in, and basically all the oil leaks around it and out past it.
Yep.
So I have another gearbox in that's free. It's working, not leaking any oil out thus far, thankfully. I've filled up, put a bit more oil in it there too. So all I can do is test it, and that's why I'll have the guard off, because I want to see where the oil's coming out of, and I'll just not get close, obviously, because that would be stupid. So yeah, the NC, really want to get it, waiting on the tractor to come back. That's a different story for another day. But yeah, so
but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, yeah. So as you might know, I have two tractors. I have the 11090, which I never fuck up about, and I also have a Massey 35 from 1960, 3-cylinder. Wouldn't exactly be the most powerful thing in the world.
Until you screw it.
Yes. But it's not actually screwed, by the way. But, well, it could be. I have no idea. But I'm assuming it's not. I have the NC mixer, and I have, obviously, a wee NC slurry tanker as well, 1,300 gallon. And one of the things I had thought about was, if I, again, because like back to what Conor's saying about fertilizer prices being ridiculous money, you want to try and utilise your slurry. And there are a lot of people that do have an abundance of slurry. So if I can get my slurry out, I'll happily take in extra slurry to use, like to spread over the ground, either after a bit of silage or just after the cattle have been off the ground. And to kind of save a bit of time, and I'm probably really not realistically saving a bit of time by doing this, but my idea was I wanted to utilise the 35. Now, an NC 3000 is not going to work on a 35. It's just not, like, it's going to pull the engine to bits. That's the reality.
What is the minimum requirement of horsepower for one of them?
I would say 80.
What's the 35?
35, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
I suppose it makes absolute fucking sense.
I think it's 35. It could be 40. Could be 45.
You know.
It's not phenomenal anyway, I'll tell you that much.
Are they turboed?
No.
Do they take a turbo?
I have seen 135s turboed.
What about a 35?
I think there's a 35 turbo mow and silage on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it's not a standard 35 engine.
Because...
Oh, I've thought about this. I have like 3 T25 Garretts sitting that could easily...
Or what about P100 turbo.
Same size, basically.
Oh, really? A wee tiny thing?
Aye. The wee Garrett's are tiny, like. The original Saab engine turbos, like.
Oh, right, yeah.
They'd be bigger than the P100 turbo, but I actually have a spare P100 turbo there too.
It would be...
I had thought about it, but like,
There's only so many things you can turbo.
And I'd be scared of blowing. I was going to turbo, and I think I turbo the Mapro first. But anyway,
Really?
yeah, class. Why
You
not?
need more pushing power.
Aye, that's why. So my thinking was, right, the only thing that's kind of a wee bit.
Imagine you put the turbo in the Mapro and you borrowed Morton's buck rake.
I was thinking of borrowing Morton's buck rake anyway and just chancing her and just not putting full loads on her. Because it's 10 foot.
I know.
Be quite ignorant in the Mapro, like. I think a nice 7 foot would be the right size for her, but sure.
I'm totally agreeing with you, but still, a wee turbo in the Mapro.
If I had it my way, there'd be an Avico engine in the Mapro, but that would mean having it out of commission for the next 20 years.
Would that not be a 1990 engine you put on her? Would an Avico
no,
you'd
just put you'd just have to make it fit.
Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing.
That's like a dream project, but
If you're
that
doing
Mapro
that,
is so useful to me that it's going to get a service here now when the tractor comes back. It's going to get a good service. That Mapro has like been running every day. Like I use it every day. It mightn't get that much time every day.
Is the brake still okay?
Yeah.
Oh, happy days.
I want to adjust them to make them a bit sharper, but yeah, it still has brakes. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So I wanted to utilise the 35. I was thinking if I go out to do, say, 2.5, 3 acres of slurry, in my humble opinion, it's not really worth mixing up a full tank to do that. If you're going to spread the whole lot, absolutely. But for a couple of acres, I didn't really think it was worth doing. I don't have that much time. I work a full-time job. I don't have that many holidays this year because I'm going on a honeymoon. So every kind of minute counts. So my thinking was the wee 35, I bought a wee Star slurry mixer from fucking probably 1970 something. And you only need to remove one slat. So the way boys would use them is a lot of people actually used to use them that they could go between the slats. Ours can't do that. But I only have 6 foot tanks here. So, and that is literally 6 foot. So it works, it'll utilise that. And basically what you're supposed to do is you start and you just mix a bit. And then you move on up to the next bit, mix a bit, move on up to the next bit, mix a bit. But my thinking was if you could do a little bit of mixing, even if it was just round where the sort of where you were lifting from, slightly up from that, and you just mixed that area and just let it tear away while you sort of sat with the tractor and got like a couple of things sorted out and let the 35 mix away. It's more of a mix than nothing. And I was thinking if you could just even mix around the inlet, and sure, if you had to go and draw a load of water in now and again, it's not really the end of the world, like.
You shouldn't need to draw water in, surely.
We'll see. I don't know. But so then that's the mixer saga. And then last week then I ended up down in Cork, and I'll talk about like my guess after, but I tied in with Jeremy, and it's such a, I was saying this to Jeremy and Jeremy completely agreed, is I don't know, see just that part of the country, like even with like the likes of Jack Wilson and all who's coming up here in this episode, like, and Jeremy and all these people, like they're all tied in, like wee Harry who's on the committee for Ahio also works with Jack, do you know, and like Dennis Kelleher and Jack went to school together and all that there, like, and it's just everyone seems in like that West Cork area is all kind of tied in.
Suppose they probably would be,
but it's the same as up here, like everybody's kind of tied in as well. And I was like, Jeremy was sitting talking about people, and just from being up and down and talking to different people around that area and being involved, even going to Ahio and all, just knowing different people, like me or you could go into like the Four Winds or wherever and sit and yarn, and you'd know who people were talking about.
You wouldn't be too green to it.
Aye. And the same as Jeremy come up here, obviously, with like being friendly with us and like Hugh Barr and Dylan and Taylor and all them, like Conor Kelly and all them ones, like he would fit in, and he would know where such and such is and all that there. Like, and I just thought that was really nice, that like just the power of social media. Like, I know it gets a lot of grief because it's a shit show the majority of the time, but how you can fall in with all these people. And as I say, you go down and they're sitting having conversations, and you can sit and nearly listen in and know what they're talking about. And I just thought that was really nice. So, and I do always love getting down to Cork. We have a lot of support down in Cork, to be fair. Like in
we do, surely.
Cork and Kerry and Tip, to be fair. Like all them areas, Munster in general, to be fair, they're very good days. Like very hospitable. So, will I move on to our guess?
Go for it, Michael.
So, we're on to a repeat, because I've always said whenever I was down with these guys this time last year, and I said if I was down again, we'd do the same again. So I have Jack Wilson, who owns the Mad RB25 E36 build, and Aaron Fleming from RetroGarage. Two lads who have become very friendly with over the last few years. Great conversation. Very, very interesting people. Last year we had a really good conversation, so this year we were like, look, we're not gonna try and talk about any of the same stuff, which was very difficult, because we all still like old vehicles, we all still hate electric cars, and we all still think that social media and TikToks and 15 seconds of fame is a crux in society. So we might lose possible sponsorship opportunities after this podcast. Hopefully not. Hopefully I fought the corner all right. So without further ado, I'd like to reintroduce guests from last year back onto the podcast, Jack Wilson and Aaron Fleming. Can I just rain check? Do we all still hate electric cars?
Area.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
We've just been 20 minutes. No, we've just been 20 minutes talking about his new setup.
Yeah.
So, it's very nice, in fairness. We're the first ones to use it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, like, last podcast, me and Conor recorded with we had to record with DJI mics. So if you wonder why the sound quality sounds like shitter than usual, like say if it's normally like a 4 out of 10, this is a 2 out of 10. It's because in the last podcast, the one leak in my shed was straight onto the podcast table, exactly where the PodTrack P4 was sitting.
I'm just disappointed that we're not recording to like tape or something old school.
Do you know what?
Right.
I would love.
It's got a soundboard. It's way better.
It does have a soundboard.
And it came with CO2 cannons.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I thought you were. Holy shit.
For anyone that's listening and can't see what just happened, he's just wasted our fire extinguisher. Yeah. Thanks for that, Jack.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
Oh, fuck. What's worse is you saw me setting it up.
It smells terrible.
It does.
It does. Smells really bad, actually. That might be these sofas, though, too.
No.
Yeah, it could be the sofas.
Everything.
So, to be honest, I don't know how this is going to sound, but we'll soon find out when I'm listening to this, probably tomorrow or whenever.
And he's crying because he's edited it all again.
Yeah. And Aaron, last year when we did the podcast, we had to cut half an hour out because you kept holding your thumb here and it kept making it.
He's very close to the top of it again.
I'll try not to do that this time.
Down there.
Because I just remember, I didn't even notice at the time, and I was like, why is Orange making that noise? And then when I was watching the video back, and anytime it went on, I just seen your thumb moving, and then you dressed your thumb. So I don't know if I can even make that noise now. It's making like a wee sound wave. So I was like, yeah, bastard.
Yeah. So well, I'm sorry about that. But we're back a year later.
Yeah, a year
older, a year closer
What's
to.
New?
I have less hair.
You're heavier on one side as well.
What?
Oh yeah. You're gonna
point at his ring.
You're gonna have that problem soon.
Not for another 2 years.
Oh really?
In 2028.
Just like
2 years? Yeah, 2.5 years.
Just
Actually, can I just bring that up a second?
Oh dear.
It's currently February 17th?
Yeah.
February 17th, 2026.
Yeah.
And Jack turns to me and says, oh yeah, make sure to keep, some date in August.
He's already fucking forgotten. I told him 10 minutes ago.
2028 free.
Bank holiday in August, 2028. Do you know who is listening that knows me? That saved the date.
I didn't even realise that I'm going to be abroad this weekend and you're asking me to plan something in for 2 years' time.
That actually makes sense as to why he would ask you to plan something in for 2 years' time.
Yeah,
so
yes. Put it into your calendar now. Put it into your calendar now.
You're the most terrible German.
I'm going to be like, who's Jack?
And he was only speaking to him 5 minutes before that.
Yeah. Happens a lot, especially when we're out.
Well,
I don't know.
This time last year, we sort of discussed how Hachetto Racing started, then talked about Jack's car, then Aaron interrupted us mid-podcast. Then we started talking about RetroGarage, and then we started talking about like how the past was better than the future. So I just don't really want us to end up going on a tangent of the same thing as last year's podcast, but I feel like we're probably going to go on similar trends.
Go different.
Okay, a year later, the past is still better than the future. If anything, it's actually gone more that way.
I would be completely inclined to agree.
But we've started seeing a little bit of a shift back to like the better days in some ways.
We're not starting this, lads.
Sorry.
Nope.
This is all I think
We're going to go
about.
completely different topics.
Okay,
Because if he starts, we won't stop him.
Sorry. You invited me.
And I am meant to keep an eye on the time. Well, I would actually invited you, but you don't reply.
No,
You're terrible at replying.
He rang me yesterday.
Sorry.
Are you still coming?
You seen my message, and I was like, sweet. And then you were replying, and then you seen my message I wrote to you, and then you messaged me the day going, sorry, didn't see it. And I was like, it's seen.
I actually, all jokes aside, I didn't see it.
That was his.
Well, you're here.
He's got that big that he's got assistance.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, he needs assistance.
Yeah.
I need assistance. That sounds like I'm going into like some kind of a home.
Exactly.
Okay. Fair.
My
Thank
memory is pretty bad. Like,
Yeah, it is terrible.
yeah. I don't
Terrible.
think any of us have particularly good memories.
To be fair, the
when I
ADHD just
wanted
gets in
it.
the way.
I can relate. I can relate. We also talked about that last year.
Yeah.
We should play like last year bingo.
Yeah.
Oh no. Bingo!
See,
I went.
How quickly can we get a full house?
Fucking won't.
Well,
I'm allowed curse. Yeah, fuck's sake.
of course we're allowed to curse.
Yeah, right.
There's certain words
To be fair, we all have like very niche, like special interests. So I'm pretty sure that we'll actually talk about exactly the same things
Absolutely.
again. And not that much has changed. Jack still has an E36. I still have Audis. You've got a new.
I've actually less cars. You've got more.
You do have more.
Fair.
I sold some. Well, I raffled some.
Yeah, I didn't win that.
Actually, there's
people
a
are very
topic.
disappointed.
There's a topic for. You're not sponsored by a raffle company, are you?
I'm not yet. I am.
Why
kind
the
of floating.
fuck are there so many raffle companies?
The thing is, right, I do think raffle
when will it stop?
I don't think it will stop. I actually can't see it stopping. Now,
I see it becoming like Derby 3
Yeah,
kind
so
of ones that are it.
so
all the small
but
ones will take
so
off.
basically, like, obviously there was all the big. I think raffles has actually kind of changed the entirety of the car scene
For the worse.
Oh yeah.
This is a side topic, but I think actually raffle companies have kind of destroyed the whole idea of building cars. So back,
Yes. There was a video, because I had my car in the trailer at a show the other day, and there was a TikTok put up on it, and people were like, does anyone know what engine's in it, and this, that, the other, and there's questions, and there was some fella commented under it, I'm sure it had 650 horsepower when it was raffled.
Nice.
nice.
Don't know when the hell my car was raffled, but fucking, it gained 150 horsepower.
You take that. I think like. I think I may have actually said this in a previous pod, not with you guys, but like, you know, because we only talked for like 3 hours last year. But, you know, I feel like we've kind of went away from this whole thing of you bought a car standard to modify it yourself and put your own personal piece on it to this whole new, I think there's a very big jump in and drive era now.
Yeah.
I think people don't want to put in the graft anymore. And I feel like being able to win a Toyota Chaser 600 horsepower for like $24.99.
And you don't need 600 horsepower.
No, you definitely don't. But like being able to win that now, it just seems so attainable. And it's like, why would you even bother going through all the hard work when you could just enter a raffle and get it?
But is that like, obviously there's two sides. For some, it's like you know, the ability to own your dream car that you've never had the chance to before. Like, again, amazing. But like on the other side, it's like look,
there was no effort to getting it.
Yeah, but also it's kind of like it makes it a very unfair playing field. It's the same as in the UK with like finance. The fact that like anyone can have.
We're being interrupted.
Oh, hello Scott.
Goodbye,
Bye
Scott.
now,
Bye, Scott.
Scott.
I think he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Probably he knows my shit and he's not going to come back.
Um,
That was Scott, everybody.
You won't have seen him on the camera, but he was here.
yeah.
He's not AI.
Do you know what? By the time we talk about this next year, there'll be AI raffle companies.
By the time we talk about this
AI
next year,
raffle companies.
will be AI.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing I have an issue with the raffle companies. I think I know it helps with the selling of them
I'm really sorry. You're actually not going to get any raffle company sponsors.
anymore. No,
Just blame it on me.
but
Blame it on me. It's RetroGarge's
I'm
fault.
definitely not
You can have the raffle sponsors.
that's it.
I'm definitely not against them by any particular stretch of the imagination. For reasons, as you've said, it allows people to buy their own, buy a ticket to win their dream car. However, before we interrupt it, one of you was on, I can't remember which one of you was on a tangent about that.
Oh, yeah. In terms of even like, it's ruined the prices of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ruined, in some ways, it's ruined the fun, as you say, of being able to build a car, bring a car back to life. Because now, and it's also kind of, the playing field's kind of really muddied.
So
And
when you say
same-
it's an uneven playing field, and why do you say that? Because surely, if anything, the playing field's more even now.
Ish. So, like, for example, I think we talked about this last year as well. You can, yeah. So
Drink, everyone.
if I get a full house, I win a chaser. Yeah. If I win the bingo,
That was his bid.
Yeah.
Ross, you're losing your chase.
But like with the UK, for example, look at finance. And look
That's
at
what we were talking about.
we were talking about that last year. And
Bing.
look at how you can't bing something we've already binged.
He didn't bing that one. He binged something else.
It was the same. Okay, so anyway,
Homemade to a hose. Sorry.
UK finance, and like you look at that, and it's like, okay, great. Now everyone drives M3s and M4s and RS3s, and
And they're all PTs.
they're all PTs.
Yeah,
Oh,
personal trainers.
Yeah. But like, it kind of, in a way, doesn't that kind of take away the fun of like the person who's like building a cool car in their garage or their parents' driveway, and like, because then it's like, okay, on Instagram you're just flexing like how horsepower it has, however much, whatever, but it's actually like the energy and stuff that went. Like, I wish Ireland went back to a stage of everyone having GT Starlets or wanting a Starlet,
a small
like
car.
something like that.
Bing.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're
Gonna be a
right,
long
yeah.
podcast.
But you're right, because and we talked about this last year, Bing.
Bing.
The great reset.
Okay, can we just no more bings?
No, okay, yeah.
We're
It's no longer
we're gonna
funny.
annoy
It's no
everyone
longer
else.
funny.
I'm sure we talked about that last year too. Bing.
But like you talked, like obviously we talked about the great reset. Okay, so bringing that background into like the raffle companies, I'm actually really for raffle companies in a way. I think it's actually great for me personally. If there's people now who have nearly made like livings out of building cars for raffle companies, and that's really cool.
But
As
I think
well.
there should be a rule brought in. I think the cash alternatives should be removed. Because look at Arkins. I know now there's lads winning Porsches and stuff, and they're not going to ever get them done here. But how many of them are actually taking the cars?
Well, do you know what the biggest? Because we had Abby Higgins in the podcast a few podcasts ago, and one of the things that we were talking about this,
There were two raffle people on the last time. Was the
And
one
there's
from
more-
McKinley?
and Tyree as well,
That's
and
outside our names.
there's more coming on as well in the future.
See, this is a nice balanced podcast now.
But no, but
Yeah.
like honestly, look, I'm willing to hear from anybody's side of the story. Like, I think that's what makes great conversation. But they were saying one of the biggest things, you win an M3, G80 M3, for example, right? You can win it. How much does it cost to do the brakes in a G80 M3?
What's
$7,000, $7,500.
I would say
two.
two- I
Carbon
think it's like-
ceramics. Yeah, I think it's about 2 or 3 grand if it's
Yeah,
not
I think it's
carbon.
$2,500. Like,
Yeah.
so your normal punter, yeah, they
Drive it for 6 months and then
can't afford to fuel it.
Yeah.
Okay, I also don't know why you'd enter for it if you didn't like the car.
Yeah.
You like the
Yeah.
idea of owning that.
you don't like the reality of it.
But
Look, I've entered stuff for RS6s, and then borderline had a panic attack afterwards because I realised, VRT, and that's about 40
I'm
grand.
going to win a car.
That's
and
happened quite
it's
a lot
like,
of people. Yeah.
And it's like, if I won that, like, I want the car, but I also can't afford 40 grand in VRT on a dime
This is me.
because of it. Because of it.
Could you move
€5
it to
extra.
another address in the north for 6 months?
You can register into a
If
post
only we
box.
had friends in the north.
Oh, Aaron! I have a great idea.
Hello.
If I win the Ferrari off Arkings now, Michael Scullion's going to be the winner.
But like, okay, going back to that.
I'll explain a story off air. I'm not going to incriminate myself on this, but like, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
explain.
but the authorities won't listen. Not this far in already. Your viewership would have dropped off.
But like, look, there's two sides of it. One is, yes, it's amazing that people normal people can own their dream cars. That's incredible, and that's an incredible kind of thing. I think on the other side, it makes it tougher for those who are the true enthusiasts. So like the normal punter can potentially win their dream car, amazing, but for the kind of the true enthusiasts, and especially, you know, old school cars are hyped at the moment. Everyone wants one. And because of that, the likes of Sierra,
You created a monster, Arn.
I didn't create any.
No, that's all
You're literally a victim of your own success.
Yeah, but no one wants old Audis. We're safe.
Yeah. But the monster was already created. But like, look, you see stuff like Sierras, and it's like everyone puts up a car for sale now, hoping that a raffle company reaches out and wants to buy it for a ridiculous amount of money.
But their raffle companies
they're
not
offering big
offering
money.
ridiculous money. And then the thing is,
anymore.
yeah, because a lot of so I was given a bit of shit to Tyree a couple of podcasts ago about saying about how often she appears on my newsfeed. But the amount of money those guys spend in marketing. So see, like say they get a car and it costs 50 grand, they raffle it for 100 grand. See the money they have to pay to Facebook to market that is criminal.
Yeah, they're probably only coming out with 10-ish.
I would say they're not. I would say they may be making a 20% return. Truthfully, on like for instance, Culture Comps raffled that 180.90.
That was another one I forgot existed.
And like I am devastated. I genuinely devastated. And Red Diesel.
Fuck off, dude.
Yeah, they raffled 2 ABCs of Red Diesel. And here,
Do you know how to wash it?
Did you win that in the raffle?
That's exactly what happened.
That's-
Will they wash the diesel for us?
10 minutes into this podcast, and it is already like revenue.
You wanted to
revenue
go
is
back to the past. There's a Northern fella and a Cork fella discussing red diesel. And how we're going to become millionaires out of raffling it.
So anyway, what do you call the guys down here? We've obviously it's HMRC up north, Her Majesty's Royal Revenue and Customs. Or
They're fucking pricks.
what do you call them down here? It's just
Revenue.
revenue. I mean, they're the same shit.
Bastards. Anything.
like-
Do you know what I mean?
I think you have it worse though.
In what way?
VRT. We talked.
Oh,
about,
yeah, sorry. Yeah, VRTs are
Like that's the biggest scam.
it's brutal.
And that is what fucks a lot of people who. So you go back to the whole thing of I wish anybody who you shouldn't be allowed to take a cash alternative.
Yeah.
But if you did enter for an RS6 and then you were like, oh yeah, you've won this RS6, that's 33 grand to VRT, as you've just said. Like, what do you, like, how do you, okay, that was annoying.
Sorry, there is cows.
That's why it smell. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
There's calves in there.
That's
That's the calf shed there.
Yeah, funny, I could smell, I was
I was
like,
going to say, you should be used to the smell.
yeah, but I was walking past
Also-
the S15 and I was like, why does it smell of cattle in here?
Can I cut to something else? Did you see his Snap story last night?
No.
The man was amazed that there was cows out in the grass. I know it's early in the year.
Sorry, what do you mean you're amazed that there's cows out in the grass?
We haven't had any good weather like this year.
We haven't
at all.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was in Kilkenny, so I'm pretty
Oh,
sure where
fair.
you were is still part of Golden Vale.
possibly. I think
I think it's just the tail top
It
of it.
definitely is. There, like that part of like Leinster, like definitely Ireland's ancient east, definitely gets drier weather. Like where I live, it's all bogland. Like most of it's probably still
Welcome to West
underwater.
Cork.
Yeah, same thing. Kerry as well. It's the same as us.
We're not a bug.
No. They're a well-marketed bug.
Yeah, they have a bogwa dolphin.
They don't have the dolphin no more.
No.
No. What they have
dolphin.
now is the sheep. The sheep is the big one now for the Americans.
And that video of that guy who talks about his sheep getting stolen on YouTube.
What's that? Mr. Shire?
And I went up there, look at the cattle, and there's 45 sheep. Yeah.
Jeez, you'd fit in well belong Clarny.
Honestly, it is really like you sound very un-Kerry-esque for a Kerry man.
Because he's half German.
But like, still,
Sure. That's how just evil look if you are not watching.
you don't really want to get.
There was just some evil look I said if
You
you
don't
weren't
really want to get in
watching.
the wrong side of a German. Like,
It's fine, he's half Kerry.
he'll do something about it tomorrow.
Anyways,
That's a recycle of last year.
Did you ever see? Do you know how to get a Kerry man out of a tree? Wave at him.
Anyway, can we?
Anyway.
well,
Right, back to cars.
So back to. I suppose we can close the topic on raffle companies and move on. But
sorry to bring that
He's
up.
not letting this go.
I what you call it? Before I came here, I counted through like the ads on Facebook, and they were all raffle companies.
100%. Yeah.
Again,
Everything, camper vans, everything.
And there is literally a raffle. Like there's MCV competitions, literally raffling
top mine
straws for AA, like AA and cattle.
the first one I have here is Abby Higgins trying to raffle something in it.
But then it's interesting because even the raffle companies all have sub raffle companies.
Who the fuck is Blah Giveaways? I don't even
That
follow
sounds
them.
like it's from Waterford.
No, they're raffling in
Let me
McLaren
see.
here,
Let's-
not a fucking piece of bread.
Let's just go through stories and let's see
How fast they pop up.
how fast they pop up.
Oh, I have Lucky Day.
Yep. Aye. Like they are.
I've Cork Marts.
That's.
I feel like I'm tapping through this too
First
quickly.
calf sales of 2026.
But they are raffling cattle. Like
Oh, yeah.
MCV competitions literally raffles like spring and heifers. And it does really well.
It does- yeah.
What happened to the good old days when lads used to earn their own heifers?
Well, we close out the stuff in raffles then. So, like,
Okay.
final opinion, I do think they are great. I can see the pros. I also do think that they've made, as you say, the hardship attainable.
Yeah.
And one other thing as well, as someone who wins, a lot of people who win those cars, A, don't know how to drive them, and
Yeah.
B, do not know how to maintain them. You'll
That's
see
what a lot
someone,
of young fellas with them.
you'll see like someone with a chaser at like Donegal who's won the corner raffle sitting bursting the anti-lag like for a whole night, and I'm like, I don't think any of the gauges work in that car. They don't know because they don't know what they don't know. So like they have DEFI gauges with like just a 12-volt supply and no sensors actually running into them.
Is there something to be said for like just raffling off normal dailies? Like why is it
That's
always
BOTB.
why is it always just at enthusiasts? That's actually
But a lot of them have
So
gone to normal
actually,
ones.
so funny. I
know there's iPhones and stuff like that. Yeah.
I do know a guy who tried to raffle off his, and it was fairly new at the time. It was a 420D BM, and this was back in 2018. You guys had the 1 to 47. We had the 1 to 59. Some people did 1 to 59 down here too
Yeah,
to try and
to get a bit more
to try and get a bit
based
more
on
money.
the Northern Ball.
But and he tried to raffle off his 420D, and he couldn't get any because. But again, twin cam. That was when twin cams were selling for like 200 a ticket, which meant they were worth £11,800. And Jesus, if you got one for that price nowadays, you'd be doing well. Like, he couldn't get any interest at all.
No.
You know, so okay, granted, he was looking like 200 a ticket, but it was like a 33,000 mile, so 50k car basically. That was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, so back to your argument, is like, would people buy normal car? The normal punter doesn't care.
Yeah. I just worry about like how many of these like nice cars end up unfortunately in wrong hands.
A lot.
A lot.
And that's kind of, that's kind of
Jinx, you owe me Coke.
that's kind of one of the things that I kind of wonder about is like, yes, there's the one side where it's like, it's amazing that, and look, if I won a car in a raffle, I'd be delighted. But like, you get the opportunity to own your dream car, whether it's an E30 M3, a 325i Sport, whatever it is, that's incredible. But for every one lad who deserves it that wins something, how many, not to say don't deserve it,
Yeah.
But I
You-
hate they
you get me?
they
And then
deserve
wrap
it
it
as
around- wrap
much.
it around the
But
tree.
from there's the deserve it. They deserve it because they paid a ticket the same as everybody else. But will they look after it? Will they treat it, or do they look
Yeah.
and go, sweet E36 M3 rear wheel drive? I can go through hooks,
Yeah,
and maybe
but-
in a way that's how the car should be enjoyed. But like. I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're trying to say, and I know
And-
you're
and
trying to
look,
say
there's
it in
no-
a quite a PC
and, there's
way.
no and this is not shaded at anyone. This is not whatever. Like, okay, look, I've been given raffle ads all day for what kind of camper vans and every kind of a thing today. I know, obviously, everyone's trying to sell their tickets today, but like, it's just for me, just kind of like, the irony is at the same time, is it making things more out of reach for the person who just wants to work for it?
I was going to say, I think what you're trying to say is there's people who will win them,
Yeah.
who will look after them as if they had saved their entire life to get one.
And there's people who might actually win them and then treat it like they had done all the work.
Yeah,
to do it as well.
exactly. Yeah. But they're the kind of lads that kind of nearly deserve to win because maybe they're not in the position to.
Yeah.
I know you can't pick and choose. That's called
And we
rigging.
all know plenty of lads who've won stuff, and like they love the cars and they definitely deserve them. And I wouldn't say anything like genuinely. All of them deserve them.
I
But
don't know. There's a fella there over the road here who's after winning. I think he's in his third Lexus, but he's after blowing up every one of them.
well, that's a Lexus. That's different.
Yeah, but it's hard to
Raffle
blow
them
them up.
off. Raffle
Not if
them
they're
off.
turboed. You can blow them up pretty easily if they've been turboed wrong.
But they're not worth the money anyway.
Wrong. This is wrong. Fuck off.
Sorry, I'm just going to gloss over that comment. Sorry.
It is my time to bring out the kick again.
That was actually our thumbnail for last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll move on from this because we probably could spend an entire podcast just talking about this. But
Lexus prices haven't gone up though.
Oh
since
yeah,
last year.
They haven't.
right.
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
No. Right. So
They're a nice level.
has John? So I don't know if this is a thing down here, but like up north, we used to have John 44W.
Yeah.
Right, and then there was John 4.
I remember joining.
Then there was John 44W Sundays, where on a Sunday some random fucking
John.
and some random punter, for want of a better word that I can't say in this because it'll get us cancelled, would put up this whole thing about how someone scammed them out of a car or something like this here, and it became an entire like Facebook row, and it basically was
Nice.
like John 44W Sundays. But in recent times, you've all heard of Aidan Corr. Yeah. He sold an Altezza, £20,000.
What?
20,000. No, the car was
Break it down. Is it one of the rare body kitted special
not body
kitted?
kit, completely standard, something like at very low miles straight out of Japan.
But isn't there?
It's immaculate.
No,
It's
but
completely original.
isn't there like versions of them as well that are like
It's red.
Qualitat?
Well, it's red, which is an uncommon
No,
color.
you're still not going. But isn't there like
I,
Qualitat is the word? I think
I know what you're trying to say.
Like, it's not a rare version of a rare version.
For
I don't
someone
think
who,
it was.
For someone who owned one,
No.
I don't know enough about them.
Because like you have the normal Altez, which is the funnier thing down here. The Altez is an IS200 just with a Toyota badge.
No, they've
No, our Altez RZ200 is the one that we all
Oh.
refer to as Altez.
So Altezza AS200 is the one you're
It's
thinking
the
of.
one GFE.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
that's-
1GFE automatic, and the why do I know so much about
RS200 is
Altezza?
mine.
Altezza
was my old car,
RS200
yeah.
was the
It's
four-cylinder
RS.
RS.
RS200, yeah, AS200
But
and
yeah,
RS.
so like
So a lot of people saying, "Oh, I've
all
got an
over the
Altezza."
world, it's
People are
the other
saying, "Oh,
Altez.
I've got an Altezza with a what do you call it? The AS200 like one GFE
3SG.
engine." Everyone's like, "Oh, it's just an AS200." Like, no, it's not. It's an Altezza. They actually are rated as an Altezza.
Yeah.
It's basically just a Lexus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but everywhere else in the world, like states wise, that got the Altez's all over. It's
Well,
an IS200 is what they have.
following on from that, he then sold a 405 D
saw
Turbo
that, yeah.
with 5,400 miles, £25,000. And now Chrissy Higgins and him have a 306 D Turbo on hydraulic suspension, which is a pretty cool car.
Is that
14
black one that was at Arkings, that's
grey.
great. There's something
14 and a
else.
That's
half.
probably Donal.
14 and a half grand.
I
So
was
you
off-
tell me our price is going up.
So I was offered a E36 316i compact with 5,000 miles. Now, I've no interest in 316s, I've no interest in compacts.
You get over the 316 bit.
But half of me was like, do I go for it and like just keep it for a year or
For
two?
what though?
But like, again, yeah, for what?
Compact, you're never going to get your money back.
And the compacts have a completely different rear end. You can't.
It's an E30.
Yeah.
But again, is that like, are we kind of like, okay, 405, for example, would you have thought that a 405, like back in 2019, that a 405 would sell for 25 grand?
I would say
And
25.
that was sterling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
sterling.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
So, like,
what, 30k euro?
That's, and like, again, it's, and that's not, like, that's an enthusiast car within a very specific niche.
But that is
That's
like,
not like a super enthusiast car that everyone wants, like,
but
an
I would
M3.
clearly argue if it's like hyper niche, then you'll get that one person who is obsessed. And that's where like the people are willing to pay the big bucks for something that's
Where did that car actually go to?
I
'Cause I think that hyper niche area for Peugeots is the north.
100%.
It's nowhere else in the world as has
Or
it.
Iran.
Maybe
maybe Jack
Iran.
Mulcahy's
Where?
shed.
Iran.
Iran.
Or Jack
Should have
Mulcahy's.
405.
No, I don't. Shaq is not just a Peugeot, I don't think. Could be very wrong.
I should dig out my 306.
Hold on, what?
This wasn't on last year's bingo
No,
card.
and I've known you for a considerable length of time.
Okay.
You've never once thought to bring
So-
this up. I am
so-
now intrigued.
So basically, my parents' first car was a 306 Estate in the light blue colour.
So
Shit, one.
literally an armchair and wheels.
It's a 1.9 straight diesel, but it'd be cool now if it had a D turbo in it.
Would actually. In
Yeah.
fairness, it would. The 1.9.
Kind of
And
go-
you could probably sell it for £15,000.
Yeah, fair.
See, I just cut back to 10 for the estate bit.
But like,
Oh, you're keeping the other 10, yeah?
No. It's just because it's an estate. It won't sell as much.
Oh, fair.
it's but like
They could
like,
camp in it
but
at the port.
I suppose like that leads me on to like you know, the prices of things have obviously, and I don't know if we even touched on this last year or not, but the prices of things are going up. I suppose the question I have is, where does it stop and when does it stop? Like, I would argue,
Fucking abruptly and shortly.
well, I would argue we're going through a cost of living crisis at the minute, right? But maybe just wealthy people seem to be wealthier. I don't think
wealthier, the poorer, the middle class are just fucked.
we're the middle class are absolutely getting shafted by just the tax man. Like, but you know, like you keep looking at these cards. Like, you know, we were asked a question a couple of weeks ago: do we see like Sierras coming down in price, or Lexuses, or 306s? No, to get a 2.9 BOA Sierra, like the V6.
It's how I would have called it a boa.
But yeah, well, then that means you'd be calling the BOBs a bob. But anyway, they're like that, to buy a clean one of them is 17 grand.
I almost bought one of those for €750 back in 2018.
Yep.
And I was like, I could not care less about Sierras at the
Yeah.
time. I remember there was a Granada I turned down for €350 with
That
the Cosworth,
pains me to
The-
hear so much
the
Why?
Scorpio one.
because I love Granadas.
She's glad I'd say go
no,
and look
I-
in the ditches here. There's
I
probably
was I was actually more tempted by the Granada than I was about the Sierra. And for some reason I started looking like at P100s and stuff like that at the time. But there was another car I was telling someone during the week that I was sickened that I missed out on. I just bought the Coupe Quattro, and there was a green Volvo
That'd be a drink as well.
850.
Or a bingo.
Both. You bought a what?
I just bought the Coupe Quattro
Yeah.
back in
Bingo.
2018. And basically, I saw there on Dundee there was a Volvo 850, a green saloon,
Oh,
2.5 litre,
yes.
inline 5, 20 valve, non-turbo for €350. And I rang the guy, and I was on to him for ages about it, whatever. And he was like, yeah, happy days, I'll sell you the car. And the day I was going to collect the car was the day before. Apparently his neighbour was always complaining about the car being outside the door. He lived in Dublin. And apparently that day or the day before, his neighbour decided to buy the car, and then the same car came up for sale for like $4.5 grand down in like Wexford or Waterford or something, and I was sickened.
That's
I was
painful.
like,
That is so painful.
Yeah,
That's really, really painful.
because I was ready to buy that car, and like,
But technically, you didn't miss out on that. It's not as if you turned around and said, no, do you know what? I'm not going to buy it. Like, you were going to buy that.
but I
Someone
missed-
robbed you
in
is
a
the better way of saying it.
But I did miss out on it. Like, it was something that I wanted. It was something that I would have gone ahead with. But like, look, there's many stories like that. There was another. Now, this one's probably a little bit better, where I missed out on a Rolls Royce for €1,500. I was on the way. I think it was like Nace or somewhere in Kildare.
Was
And
it
do
an
you know
AI
what?
one,
I mean,
maybe?
what?
Was it an AI one or something?
No,
maybe?
but like at the time, do you know those old Rolls Royce Silver Shadows and Silver
Mhm.
Spirits?
Yeah.
I thought
From
it's
like the
coolest-
70s or the
coolest
80s.
thing when you're like in your early 20s of like, oh, I'm going to own a Rolls Royce without thinking of any of the actual.
Things
Things
owning
that
a
can
Rolls.
go wrong.
I'm just thinking you driving up Miles Gap in a Rolls Royce and some fucking farmer there like, look at this pretentious prick.
All jokes aside, at the time I thought about it, and you know that car was there, and basically there was two cars. I was 15 minutes away, and the guy who viewed to take only one of the cars ended up buying both of them. And I'd cash in hand and everything. But my thought at the time, there was a video went out. Do you remember Matt Farah, Smoking Tire?
Yes.
He did a review of some lad came to him with like this completely stripped out old like Rolls Royce Silver Shadow or Silver Spirit or something like that, and it had an LS inside in it, and it was the coolest thing ever. Had like a roll cage and
Is that
everything.
not Shane Lynch's one? Shane
I
Lynch
think-
from Boys.
Yeah, so
Did you ever see his one?
that's
Matt
savage as well.
Black. Matt
But
Black
this
on
one-
Steely's Lord.
Matt Farah reviewed this car, and they went. Is it the what's the road they always go there around LA? Taylor the Dragon.
Don't tell the Dragons in
Is that
Florida kind of direction, because that's where Adam
Is
Z
it
rolled
like
off his car.
Mulholland Drive? Like,
it's a long
Beverly Hills.
whatever. No,
What?
it's like the canyons, whatever it is.
That's the
Yeah.
canyons outside LA.
The canyons, just canyons.
But
I thought that was Mulholland Drive, but
Matt Farah at the time, and actually that reminds me, I missed those videos. Those smoking tire videos were class. Do you know where he just take like a random car that someone brings
Gave
to him,
him.
while he's out on drive, someone come up to him and like,
New idea
Right,
for us all.
that actually
Convince
be
Harkins to let us test drive all the cars.
but like, but that was such a cool car that at the time I was like, imagine that in Ireland.
Up in
Now,
that car.
didn't have a penny to my name,
That'd be class.
but and in my head I visualized that car coming across Malls Gap. I was like, imagine that being a sweeper. Imagine that, like,
you turn in Malls Gap and roll over.
Or like the V Pass or something. that big hairpin bend, the V Pass or something,
Yeah.
was just coming in a big roller with a big handbrake drag. Like,
yeah.
Actually, we must bring you up Healy Pass.
Oh, have you not been?
no,
Healy
I don't
Pass
think
is
I've
better
ever
again.
Well,
been in.
I think, to be fair, I
don't think I've ever been in it.
Dion can bring him up Healy Pass.
Yeah, Healy Pass. You can stand at the top and look at everyone coming. The whole,
It's like
class.
It's like, you know, those roads in like Italy where it's like the S bend.
Yeah.
S bend after
whole
S
way
bend.
up the road.
The whole way up the road, yeah.
We went down for the cannonball, like, and you could hear them coming. Oh,
we actually have an equivalent of that in the north. It's called Torhead. Outside Ballycastle, and it's the same. It's like on the north coast, so it's probably literally them. If you put a mirror image halfway up the island of Ireland,
that.
Yeah.
Torhead would be the same
Are
as
we
real.
sure that's not actually what happens in Ireland?
It is very possible because where I live,
Killarney, Letter Kenny.
Yeah.
Kerry, Donegal. We even have the same county colours.
you're right enough, actually.
What counties beside?
And Cork and
Cork
Derry
is
have the
red and
same.
white
Cork and
colours.
Derry have the
Yeah.
same colours as well. Yeah.
We've actually figured out a big
Conspiracy theory. England never actually gave back the North. They just gave us a mirror.
It's like, you know, when you paint something and then you paint a page
And
you
fold it by
over.
mistake.
That's
It
what
slightly
happened.
resembles what you did paint.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious. So I'm actually going to bring this in because I know we're veering off topic, but fuck it. And we didn't talk about this last year. Did you see they've got like a new team for the Grand Tour?
Yeah. Fucking Francis Bordeaux, whatever the fuck his
Aye.
name is.
Do you think like
We could do an Irish version.
yeah?
I
Probably.
suppose, yeah.
What?
Who's who though?
I think I don't know because we all,
He's James May.
I'm definitely James May.
but I don't know which one of us was Richard Hammond and which one's Jeremy Clarkson.
Well, neither the two of us are small enough to be at it.
Which of
And
the
neither of us
two
is tall enough to be Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
I'm the farmer, so I guess. But then you're farming stock as well, so yeah,
Who in front of us is more engineer-minded?
me.
Sorry, which of you have crashed more? That's actually the most important
How
question.
many crashes have you ever had in your life?
One.
Oh, fuck.
Why? How many have you had?
4 or 5.
Right, Hammond.
You're such a Hammond. Can you like what would be your dream like road trip, like tour kind of thing? If you had to go on like a Top Gear special or something like that.
I actually would go Europe.
But where would you go in Europe?
Everywhere. There was a cannonball. I was watching Mark McCann. I don't know why.
Mark McCann 64?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. When it's like they had one that started in London and it just like went all the way down like through Germany and down to Ibiza is where they ended or
Why
something.
do they
like that.
always have to go through Germany at night? Is it because the German police are...
Yeah, the German police don't like.
The German police don't like them.
Yeah.
But like, they're in cars that probably aren't that illegal.
Yeah, but they're on the cannonballs. So most of
Yeah.
them don't have real number plates.
Yeah.
I know
Ah.
a particular man who was in a Lamborghini this year on one year that had a fake plate, and he wasn't the fucking only one.
Well, was the number plate actually registered to a Ford Fiesta or something?
No, to be fair, the number plate he had, I'm not going to say it out loud, but it could have very well been on some other poor fucker in England's car. It was tied back into the car, let's put it that way.
Oh, fella done the same with a S15 at Donegal a few years ago. Yep, that can happen.
Okay.
But what would your idea of like one of them road trips be? Like, where would you go? Like, so you're saying all of Europe, but like, you've Germany for the autobahns, you've France to get croissants thrown at you, Italy to get crashed into.
I do Scandinavia during the winter.
Yeah.
I think
Like ice racing?
as an Audi guy, I would 100 to
Ding.
yeah, I know. 5-cylinder turbo S6. Actually, no, sorry, the S4. It's the estate. I take that one, 5-cylinder turbo, and do like Scandinavia and like.
But when you say Scandinavia, like, because like, are you on about the Finnish forest, or are you on about snow and ice, like
Snow
Sweden?
and ice, like Sweden.
Sweden.
So yeah, let's just say Sweden, or up through Norway, go up towards like Nordkap or something like that.
Scandi flick that Duran toured it.
that would be.
To be fair,
But like, Jeremy Clarkson took an RS4,
yeah.
and it was actually, I was like, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Like, and it looks savage. And when you see lads going up there with like old Volvos and stuff, it's like, this is so cool. Like,
The Swedes are actually such rednecks. You
yeah.
know, the
Oh,
Swedes are serious rednecks. Like,
and I guess like I'm what you call it, I'm spoiled because I spent a lot of time in Germany when I was younger on the Autobahn. The Autobahn doesn't do much for me.
like to be fair,
It's good crack for 10 minutes.
It's good crack for 10 minutes.
we talked about this last
And
year.
no
about
matter-
real
Ding, ding.
cars.
No matter how fast you are, and this is, I definitely said this last year, no matter how fast you are on the Autobahn, there is some lad in a B5 Passat,
Fucking faster.
a B5 Passat
Sitting on your bumper,
estate,
flashing lights.
probably Polish reg, flashing lights. Or the joke at the moment in Germany is like, do you know that company Hilti, or did they do?
1 second now, Germans do jokes.
Yeah,
We are very funny.
Yeah, it's funny. This one's funny. Yeah.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Because there was a zebra crossing.
The light was
The light was green.
Oh.
What you get when the chicken crosses the road on the red light? The chicken nuggets.
No, the chicken does not move. The light is red. You cannot move. It's a red light.
No, it's actually what does the chicken get if they cross the road? When the light is red, they get €40 fine. It's simple, yeah.
I was going to say your German accent's really good, but yeah, go figure.
You'd have it. You fucking want to be.
The German have German accents. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask another stupid question, which is another tangent. Are you fluent German as well?
Oh, it's fucking terrifying.
Adam,
Yes.
you like cleaning cars?
I do, yes. Anything but yours.
Yeah, that's fair. But if you were cleaning,
Yeah.
what would you use?
Well, bit of JTEC kit.
Oh, lad. How would you do it? How would you go about doing it?
Well, we start off with a bit of citrus pre-wash. Pristine 360 if it really needs it.
Agri spec, yes, proper. Yeah,
Chuck on a bit of snow foam, get it rinsed off, get the shampoo going, and then top it off with some ultra wax.
deadly. Does he do anything else?
Tons of stuff, lad. Get yourself on the JTEC chemicals.
Plenty of good stuff there, like.
It's just JTEC, kid. Get in your head.
But we really went off tangent there. But back to like, so you're saying like you kind of want to do like Swedish like snow runs, like so. Okay, you're taking your S4 state.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go snow drifting? What do you bring?
Oh, snow drifting. Actually, like, depends. Are we just going drifting or are we doing a tour with it?
You'd probably bring the X5 and then bring the E36 on the
trailer.
Like, no matter where we are. Oh, where are we going? Sweden. Oh, may as well be going up. Jack may as well be going to Waterford. Like,
No.
Jack's sitting there with a blah in Sweden.
yeah.
No, but the reason I ask is, are we just going drifting or is it a road
I would
trip?
imagine it'd be a road trip. Yeah.
Yeah, road trip.
Road trip.
R32 GTR. Because you can just pull the fuse and make it rear-wheel drive to go drifting, bang in the fuse.
Terrible lock though.
But
Sick,
do you-
really
Terrible
bad
lock, but
Yeah, but do you need rear-wheel drive if it's snowy?
No, I don't think so.
Like-
I think the whole idea actually of having I thought the whole idea of actually the R32 GTR would be it's a complete flex because it's 4-wheel drive and you'd be drifting.
then what else would it take?
Actually,
A GTR, just an actual GTR.
I
I just have no love for them.
I know
They're I get they're
But it's-
absolute supercomputers, but I just don't. I can't
they're
like,
not. It's great fun. Have you ever sat into one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into the Boss got one there lately. Stupid. It's still a cash guy here.
oh, that is done. But then an R32 is basically a micro.
Yeah.
I'm driving an interesting one in 2 weeks' time, I think. It's an R34 GTR V-Spec 2 NUR.
Oh, that's very rare. Don't crash that.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
It's okay. He's got a trade policy now.
Not covered in trade policy. No, it's,
You want to put what?
that'd be a great car actually for the road trip up to Sweden. No, do you know what? Sorry, actually, while you're talking about that,
You were talking about
no, but the what you call it, the road trip. One car that, again, it's crossed my radar because I obviously think about like really weird and niche cars a lot of the time, is the 4-wheel drive chasers.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, the 4-wheel
That would be
drive.
the best cattle towing wagon ever. Why is some lad in the back arse of Kerry not using
No,
that?
you can't use anti-lag.
You'd be scaring the sheep.
Now, I could be wrong in this because it's been a little
know
while
you-
since I've properly looked into them.
4x4 chaser.
I think you can get an all-wheel drive chaser.
Yeah, I know you can get a diesel chaser.
Yeah, you can
It's
get
got
a
the
diesel
two-
This
chaser.
is the exact moment. Comment down below if Aaron is wrong.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong.
But because you can get a 4x4 405.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but that was for the Dakar.
Yeah, and for also towing Cal. But
Actually,
No,
that
the
brings me
developer
on
for
to-
Dakar, not the North.
that brings me on to another niche thing. I put up a post, was it about 2 weeks ago, about a 505?
oh,
And-
they're so cool.
But you know those 505, like the raised 505s? Have you seen those?
No,
Oh, they are so cool.
race 5.5. You get 605s as well, I'm pretty sure, which are rear-wheel drive.
1 second. Yeah, 605 as well. I think, was it a 505?
The
505
504s were a pickup.
4x4.
It was a pickup.
Yeah, Peugeot pickup.
Sorry, have you seen these? So they're called 505 Dangle.
They had them in Top Gear.
These. Isn't that the coolest thing you've seen?
That may just be my new favourite car.
Like, imagine that.
That's what I'm taking on our Swedish trip.
Actually, now that you say it, you know what?
That's what I'm taking.
We should just buy French cars.
We'd get about 3 miles and it'd all be on fire.
Yeah, fair.
Now,
but like,
now we're
it's fun.
recreating Grand Tour de Carnage à Trois.
Do you know what? When
Oh no, I cannot use the brakes.
a couple of weeks ago, I was at Retromobile and I had this mad notion to like.
Can I cut across
Go
you?
for it.
Do you know how annoying it is at work when you're sat in work looking at your computer and then this prick sends you a Snapchat of him playing with a Bugatti?
I don't even like Bugattis.
They're not great, but it's still fucking annoying.
I still wouldn't mind one in the garage.
Well, you wouldn't mind one in the garage.
No,
It wouldn't be the first car I'd run out and buy though.
No,
no.
definitely not.
See, I get in trouble whenever I see Bugattis because every time my brain kicks in, and I've done it multiple times.
It's okay, Matt
Oh.
Armstrong is pissing off a lot more Bugatti than you are.
But you take the, what you call it, or I put up videos of the Bugatti Veyron and I just keep calling them B5.5 Passats. And it doesn't, like, people don't like it, but they are.
5.5
like, they
Passats
look-
times 2 because
They kind of look like one. But actually, little flex,
Phaeton.
Mate Rimac follows me.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
really, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So that's kind of a cool thing.
Are
So I
you
can't
the
be,
second spot that's able to split a Bugatti Chiron?
say again?
Your new garage, so is the second
Yeah,
spot.
that's where it is.
To Bugatti Veyron
Killarney
Chiron.
now. Killarney on top.
It's only Bugatti and Killarney.
Yeah.
That two things that literally couldn't make more sense if they
basically same
tried.
thing.
Yeah,
But the only Bugatti in Ireland was in Cork.
yeah, but East Cork or West Cork?
It was fucking in the city here, right price titles. It's bloody well.
I wouldn't want to pay the VRT.
But while I was at
I don't
Retromobile,
think he did either.
I had this mad notion to drive back to buy a Citroen Xantia.
That I will agree
Okay.
with. I like them.
So I look after you probably know, I look after social media. So I look after social media for Car and Classic, and it means that I constantly look on Car and Classic every day. It's kind of part of the job.
Of course.
And look, have a lot of fun doing that. But landed in Paris and I was like, we didn't have a flight back to Ireland, so I was like, I want to buy a car. Wanted to buy something cheap. There's a section at Retromobile which is like 30,000 euro or less. Last year there was a savage like Opel Corsa there with like, it was like a really boxy one with really cool decals along the side.
They're basically, are they, is like that the equivalent of a Nova?
Yeah,
You say they're really boxy
basically,
one, yeah. Did you get Novas in Ireland, or were they Corsa A's here too? Because obviously up north they were all Novas.
No, they're Opels.
Were they an Opel Nova?
No, Corsa.
So they were a
Oh,
Corsa.
they were Novas.
Were they?
Were they Novas?
Are you sure? No.
Because they're definitely a Corsa A.
Actually,
Yeah,
now
it's
that
a
you say it,
Corsa
I've
A.
never heard of even referred to as an Opel Nova.
See, Vauxhall never actually sold cars new in the Republic.
Well, there's an Opel garage. There's an Opel dealership outside Donegal, like outside Letterkenny.
Yeah,
Well, there's no
Opel, yeah.
dealerships. Yeah, but there's
Opel, yes. Vauxhall, no.
Ah, well, yeah, but same car and just changed the badge at the front.
But I was about to buy this Citroen Xantia for like, I think it was €1,200. Okay,
Would it have been left-hand drive?
left-hand drive, full like active suspension.
I was going to say,
everything.
does the thing work?
Yeah,
You put
it
up, push
does.
it forward.
It does.
Drive through fields the whole way, you'd be fine.
No, my father
I
used to fuck with lads in floods because he'd rise it up, and as he'd come out, he'd be lowering it, so lads
They
would go, "Oh, the flood's not that deep."
They're so cool though. Like
They
when
are
they're-
class.
when they're fully raised up. It's stupid as it's like the opposite of a scene car.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
But did you remember even before, like the old BXs?
Yeah.
Like these were not a cool car.
yeah.
And now they are the coolest car. I think they're class. And that's the same suspension derived.
Yeah.
That's why they're always used for filming horse
And
racing.
it's what you call it, the CX-25s and all of that. Like, it's one thing when you go to France and it's like you see those kind of cars and you're like, this is so cool. Like France was on some different drugs back in the 70s and 80s.
Honestly, like it's just a shame that the French were so late to the party with a lot of motorsport. Again, ding, last year, talking
Yeah.
about Group B. Like, obviously 205 GTA, but Citroen tried to join the party as well, and like they brought a car that only had like 190 horsepower, which I know was big for the time, like kind of, but it
The
wasn't.
BX40C.
Yeah,
With the weird story that like they were so bad and such a PR disaster that Citroen tried buying back all of them to scrap.
yes,
Yeah.
there definitely were.
Citroen could bring that one back.
Yeah.
I still think, I know this is another side note, but I still think this actually, it really upsets me, right? You think the Citroen Xara is like one of the most iconic rally cars of all time.
Yeah.
And yet,
There's no one now.
and yet none of us care about, well, okay, from a felt spec perspective, I love them, but they don't have the rally heritage compared to a Subaru or an Evo.
But
very
I think
true.
I think part of that is at that time. See, in the last kind of like 5-10 years, everyone's obsessed with rear wheel drive, and that's why all of the front wheel drive stuff nobody really cares about it. Like think of
Except for
the A11s, all of those.
That's a big thing
you
down
know,
here. Not
those-
so much up there.
those kind of cars, and like we're missing out on like brilliant cars. So like the Zara, but even like I'm hoping that it makes a bit of a comeback. Like the F2 kit cars, savage.
Mhm.
I'm glad to see that like super touring is starting to make a bit of a comeback.
You're on about like the likes of the 306 Maxi and all that sort of stuff.
306 Maxi,
They were fast.
super touring,
Class.
all of that, and like. Again, like while I was over in Paris at Retromobile, it was really cool to see like all of those kind of cars that like, I don't know why it is, but in Ireland, the Republic anyway, everyone's obsessed with rear wheel drive, and like that's why I like my Audis, my 4-wheel drive Audis, because in Germany it's like, well, it's not just about like leaving a junction broad sideways.
James,
Which that's, I think, down to the road.
but James,
Yeah.
James Pumphrey actually made a very, very strong point about this actually in one of his videos. So for years, I don't know what it was like down here, but for in the north and definitely in England, like the UK mainland, we were VWs and Audis as well.
Yeah.
The dub scene was huge
I was just like, that's only a thing up the
because they took such a good photo, and that
Yeah.
was back in the days of magazines and all that. There,
Yeah.
now we're in everybody has access to a camera phone
Yeah.
or some form of recording device. Now he's saying basically VWs look good, but they're not actually that fast. Apart from you can build some insane
Yeah.
ones, but they're not. They take a really good photo, but they're not. They don't have maybe the same party that an S13, for example, has, and that is why at the minute the rear wheel drive stuff is more kind of fashionable.
But I think that's gonna. I do see that that's gonna flip big time.
Well, the dub scene's
and-
really starting to make a
and look-
comeback.
Yeah,
Like,
massively.
Look at Europe. Like rear wheel drive isn't special in Europe anymore at all. Like and you look at
But
like
is that because they've been almost like, can you even own a fun rear wheel drive car in Germany? Do you know?
That's not a
but
mark.
to be-
Or
to-
a
to
real
like-
drive.
Like the way we would have an S13 or a Sierra done up the way we do them up here, like you cannot do that in Germany. TUV would just
But you can. Like, I know plenty of people with like 1,000 horsepower M4s over there that are completely
Yes, but they're
TUV
new.
legal.
That's an
Like,
F4.
They're new. What he's saying is like,
Okay.
there's no fella in a clapped out chaser or an IS200 rattling.
No, but do you need a chaser? Like, there's
But even
plenty.
nice to under-
There's plenty of 5 Series. There's plenty of E34s with 2Js, or like just a turbo inline 6 or a big V8 inside them. Like, there's plenty of those kind of cars around. But the thing is, they're not fast in the autobahn, so
No.
the people don't want them. So like that's the difference. Like we have the smaller roads, like the drifting, all of that.
I never actually thought of that.
Over there, like why would you want like? why would you necessarily want a rear
You
wheel
don't want a
drive?
200k car that's.
Yeah, like, it's kind of.
Camber got it front.
Imagine trying to keep it straight.
But all jokes aside, like in Germany, if you had a Japanese car over in Germany and you were like, over here, lads are like, went off the clock. It's like, in Germany, it's like, and you are still in our way. Like,
says a lot in the beef.
Soundbite that.
Says a lot in the B5.5.
It's actually a Veyron.
What one was it? The Phaeton actually came with the W16.
Came with a W12.
Did it come with W12?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of it.
And
The baby
and
Veyron.
I recently
Same
saw
keys,
as well, you can get a is it a W12 Touareg, but you can also get, do you know the V10 TDI that came in the Touareg? You can
And
get that in a Phaeton as well.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
knew that actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did know that.
Anyway, back to French cars. So many cool French cars that I completely forgot about. And also, so many French cars that I feel like we need to kind of, or just European cars that we need to have a bit of love for again. Like 406 coupes with the V6s.
Yeah, they.
Like, they're a
I mean,
cool.
they're
They're basically an S14.
14,
Yeah.
No, that was our plan. We were going to do it was a dub shit last year, the year before. We were going to build a Peugeot 406 with an S14 body kit and S14 headlights.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
Well, they basically have.
Well, the headlights are the same. You just need to change the kit.
But
Stuff like that, like, and even Saxos. Like, do you remember Saxos back in the day? They were everywhere.
Awesome.
And
Absolutely
again,
awesome.
I don't know where this obsession with rear wheel drive, where everything has to be rear wheel drive.
I think
came
in
from
Ireland
because-
it's our rallying heritage. I think especially in the south here and in the north in certain places.
I
we
don't think so.
but we didn't.
Because yes, Mark II Escorts, yes, KP Starlets, but lads aren't going out buying Mark II Escorts or KP Starlets.
Because they're outrageous.
No, fair, I get that. But you could still get a four-door Mark II Escort for less than an IS200.
but if
You could.
But if you even look at videos from like the 90s, like they had a video, there was a thing up, it was like Rally of the Lakes, I think in like 1986 or maybe West Cork Rally in 1996.
90% of the cars at the time, the lads that were following the rally, were front wheel drive. It was Saxos, it was Citroen AXs.
Agreed.
It
Port
was
Sundays was the same. It used
Ford Orions.
It was
It
all,
was-
agreed.
Jeez, that's a flashback.
Yeah.
But you still, like, even back then, there was still the rear wheel drive brigade. And I think that's the kind of stuff that nearly has been, I don't know, kind of immortalized in a way.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff
And
people
like-
look at and go, oh, yeah, that's what the past was like. Despite the fact that there was literally Clios, Mark I Clios with massive body kits and neons.
Yeah.
And people just glance past that. Like,
And I think as well, a lot of the reason people aren't doing up the Escorts is because we'd say like we'd say upgrade your power. Like if your four-door's going to have a 1 liter, 1.0
Yeah.
your best. All the good power and kind of rare parts are hoarded by the rally.
and stock
I
car.
get you.
Yeah.
And stock car guys.
Sorry.
I'm going to throw it to him first because you
I
know
finished my road trip topic.
Okay,
Sorry.
front wheel drives need to make a comeback. We need stuff like the French front wheel drives. I think that's a scene that needs to come back. Like,
I agree. I agree.
We've seen the rear wheel drive stuff. We're actually running out of rear wheel drive cars that are cool and interesting because
or that are in good shape.
yeah, like look
yeah.
after like E92 kind of shape BMWs, nothing's really that interesting
say I
anymore.
really
I think the E92s are going to come up a good bit.
I think they are too.
100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything because like consider they're probably the last generation where lads actually have petrol 3 Series.
Yeah.
Because like 4 Series and the F30, like most of them are 320D or they're a 330E.
Yeah.
Have you seen Josh's new one?
No. Oh yeah.
440i.
Oh, that's
but-
very
it's-
uncommon.
And it's manual. It's one of 80 in the world or something like that. He told me the other day.
Holy Ghost.
It's class.
But
It's a manual M4.
But I
If
bet you it still isn't open diff.
it does for now.
Yeah.
We'll convince him.
But
otherwise.
like again, lads like that. Lads don't have cars like that around here.
Yes.
Like and all the F30s. But again, it's getting more and more tough to VRT cars like that. So
Absolutely.
like all the F30s that are in Ireland are all 320Ds, 420Ds, and
There's
like
a lot of 316s as well.
Yeah.
I've noticed all these fellas.
Same
They're
up
just
the little single pipe, the pea shooter.
Yeah, it's tiny.
The modern pea
And
shooter.
then you have some fellow who's got and put the 320
Yeah.
or the big double exhaust on
Yeah.
it, and the thing sounds like you're a blowing.
They just can't, well, they just
sounds like a gale in a wind.
they
in
can't
the
they,
shed,
they
like,
can't
ooh.
fill like exhaust.
Yeah.
They can't fill it out.
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it just sounds like I don't know, wrong.
Yeah.
There is such thing as having too much pipelets.
Put that in the soundbite. I don't know. Like I think like very much for me. Like I don't know what it's like, but obviously you guys down here, I don't think that is the diesel scene appreciated the same way compared to how we appreciate up north. Like we're absolute rednecks.
This is actually. I'm glad you kind of brought that up. There's at a show I was at the weekend.
There's shows in winter.
It was Mill Street. It was indoor and all. It was actually cool, but
car show.
Yeah. There's these lads, I don't know, a lot of the younger fellas I think have no respect for where the car scene came from. Like, when you were growing up, you're like, oh, Jesus, that's such and such, their class, like they've done this, that, the other. There was this young fella, the car shows in, at an equestrian centre.
Okay.
Young fella starts hopping off limiter. The lad in a diesel. No, he was just outside, but it's still, it was parked next to my car. My car was outside, the 36. But he was backed up to the shed where the horses were and bait off limiter. The steward came over and was like, look, would you mind not doing that? There's horses in here. We won't get it again. 2 seconds later, man says, hop off limiter again. The lads came over like, would you fucking stop? We're not going to get it. And he had the audacity to turn around and go, ooh, fuck off, the big haired man coming over here telling me to fuck off. I was like, he was in a little diesel Passat. It's a nice car, but fuck off.
Yeah, but that's
you're going to ruin it. You're not into the car.
But that selfish mentality, we've said that a lot, is for like, I think we may have talked about this last year, is the 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think there's another side to that, is like, I have this strong belief, and look, not everyone might agree with it and might pick wrong parts of it, but I kind of think the TDI killed the car scene.
A bit, yeah. It was easy, cheap power.
In a lot. No, but like, okay, don't get me wrong. Like,
to anyone who is not watching, Michael has left.
No, but like, what I mean by that is, and this is not just in Ireland, this is around the world, that like, when the TDI came along, because it was so easy, like when the TDI came along, it was kind of, there wasn't that many petrol alternatives, and it was a really easy way to get power.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was great if it would have only lasted for a moment. But what happened then is everyone was like, oh, this is a really easy way to get power. Insurance companies haven't copped onto it yet.
Yeah.
And it became, and it's like, in a way, maybe the insurance company should have copped onto it at the time, because in a way, almost overnight then, once kind of the Jettas, the Mark V Golfs, even the Mark IV TDIs got to the point where like they were cheap enough for young lads to own, those young lads were hopping out of the Starlets. They were hopping out of, the fun.
The bit of crack. You actually have more crack.
Yeah, exactly. They were hopping out of the bit of crack. And like those Starlets, well, they had like, okay, you were coming from, you wanted to feel like the rally drivers. You want to, that's why you had a Saxo and all of that. Whereas then all of a sudden you're hopping into a diesel because it has more power, but you kind of forget all the other things that come with that. I look, I know that you have a different viewpoint because you guys have it a little bit, I really think it's cool, the scene that you guys had at the time with like 306D turbos, all of that. But I think we've got so far, and again, like the early diesel days were cool. Like the idea that you could, kind of smoke a Porsche with a diesel Golf, savage. Like I remember growing up in Germany, and like my mom's cousins all had Mark IV Golfs that were remapped, and I remember like all of those cars constantly being over like 200 kilometers an hour. As a kid, that's the coolest thing ever. Yes. But like it kind of just. It's like that would have been cool if it was happened for a minute, but what happened is afterwards it just became normalized, and people kind of forgot why that's the case and why the diesel is special, and then diesel didn't become special at all, and everything else died out.
And they seem to treat it as the only special thing about the car now is the diesel. Like, have you ever seen like there's a lad in a chaser at a rally is just going to drive, not to be hard, but any cool car, even a 4 or 5 or anything like that, they'll just cruise past. And everyone's like, oh. And if in a diesel to make you look, they have to be reddening it.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise you're just looking at it's a Passat.
And I think, and this is not to say like that's bad, and anyone listening that has a diesel that I think they're bad or Jack thinks they're bad. It's more so of like, I think there's a kind of a misunderstanding of like the culture, and I think in ways, and we talked about this last year as well, how TikTok is shaping the world of cars for the worse in many ways because of the 15 seconds of fame.
I do agree with that.
Because of this idea that you kind of need to, you need to be in essence, you need to be the best clone of everything else. So everyone falls down these kind of very narrow pathways, and in Ireland that tends to be either you have the money to go drifting and have the cool Japanese stuff, or you have a TDI.
Mud flaps and
Like, look, whatever way you want to do that. Like, to be fair, even like with what I do now, all I'm trying to do is showcase that there's actually other cars out there, and there's other cars out there that are cool, that are forgotten about, and you can actually really enjoy. And if you showed up into like car meet with it, there will be lads there that are like, that's cool. Like Lancia Kappa. Do you know what a Lancia Kappa is?
A Lancia
pile of
Kappa.
rust.
Basically.
Probably is now.
I saw loads of these in Portugal. Never knew they
A
existed.
Lancia Kappa.
Kappa.
Are they
Okay.
the
You
new
do get
Lancias?
Lancias in
No.
Portugal because I was
These are like late 90s, early 2000s. You could get them as a coupe, a saloon, or an estate. And they came with, I think they came with a V6, but they also came with a 2-litre turbo 5-cylinder front wheel drive. And like, again,
He gives out about diesels having a thing. His 5-cylinder turbo.
Yeah, that's all my only thing.
Doesn't matter what car, as long as it's
But like-
5-cylinder turbo.
But like, that's a car that probably shouldn't have that kind of an engine. And the same with like the
Probably tore itself apart.
Alpha,
like the Alphas, the
Brera, or
156s,
even the 406 Coupe.
all of those, yeah. Those, like the idea, like even, what was it? Mitsubishi FTO.
Yeah.
Do you remember those 2-litre V6s? This idea that you have like an engine.
Or a Hyundai Coupe.
Yeah.
You could get, there's not a V6 in them?
Yeah.
Was there?
I
Yeah.
think so.
You can get all these weird cars that like have engines that probably shouldn't fit in them. And I think that's the cool thing. Like that's the thing that kind of makes them special and cool. Like, yeah. You're bored, are you?
No, sorry. The monsters wore on.
Like you've an RB inside an E36. That shouldn't work, but it
It fits
does.
better than the BMW.
I actually think I get what
He's
you're
got a Saab engine in a Ford.
I get what you're saying. You're not against the TDAs because it's
No.
a TDA. You're against TDAs because it's kind of like, or not against TDAs, but you're kind of just like, guys, come on, there's more stuff out there. I think that's kind of the
It's the
angle.
mentality around
I
it.
think you're just like, guys, look past what everybody else is doing and find something different.
Do you know what? Look, even take TDIs, for example. You can get other TDIs that are not 4-cylinders. You
Yeah.
can get you can get
V6s.
the V6 TDIs. They sound really cool.
They sound really good.
Okay, they sound
really good.
sound so good. Okay, in Ireland, like the V8 TDIs and the V10 TDIs are obviously rare, but like you can get 5-cylinder TDIs, you can get V6 TDIs. It doesn't just have to be 4-cylinder. And it's like, for me, the thing I struggle with is the fact that everyone's just fallen into one exact lane, and everyone has to be that, and it's either a 4-cylinder diesel Focus, it's 4-cylinder diesel Golf, and like the money people spend on these cars, even like BMWs, everyone goes for a 320D. It's like, if you actually spent a littlest bit more, you could get a 325D or a 330D.
Yeah, insurance.
But also, do you think there's a kind of a thing of it's because they're cheap and the fellas who aren't really, they're
They're not
half into,
cheap.
but we said you've a load of fellas who are kind of, for lack of words, half into cars. They're the fellas who, we'd say, when they hit 25 are no longer interested in them. I.e., like, I think it happened with IS200s because I remember there used to be the thing down here. There's nothing wrong with IS200s, it's the owners.
A lot. I think
Do you know-
I know exactly what you're on about. You get the guys who kind of go
Further 15 seconds of fame.
Passat A4, migrate then to maybe S200, M3, Evo, and then they leave the car scene. Them kind of guys.
But like, even I mean, isn't like, I think it's happening with the IS200s and stuff at the moment. They're getting to the point where they're not disposable anymore. So fellas are starting to treat them better. I think, is it a case of the Passats and all that stuff? They're so disposable that you have fellas driving them who don't really care.
Jeez, I don't know. It's
But,
hard.
but again, we talked about this last year, even about IS200s. Like, and like, we're getting to a stage where IS200s are getting really babied and minded.
Yeah.
But again, that in itself loses the culture of that car. So like, people want that car, or even like back in the day, 325i Sport. People wanted that car because it was a car associated with messing. And
With
again,
yobbish behaviour,
I'm not condoning or messing or anything like that. Like, you know, do it in yards, whatever. But like, it's a car that people enjoyed because of that, and then people bought the cars because they wanted to be associated with that image, but then don't want to do it because they don't want to risk damaging the cars. That's happening with IS2.
I
That's
don't
happening
think
with
it's risking
IS200.
damaging the cars anymore.
They're also Kells.
Well, not even that. I think a lot of, like, I remember.
I'm not talking about on roads. I mean in yards.
No.
Like that.
I think there's a lot of lads still do use them in yards. Like King of the Cone would not be happening otherwise.
But not really a 325.
Not
Like specifically, not a 325.
Well, I think down here there's a lot of lads will still rag them, but like it's just harping back to we'd say car meets when I first started out. There was never a phone up. It was kind of like everyone out. Was wrecking to beat the man. I remember being on top of Mill Street and there was lads trying around R34 GTTs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just didn't give up. But nowadays, because every cunt has a phone, and they want you to,
and the guards have to be seen to be doing something.
And also, like
and it's killing that off.
And also, like we talked about it last year, TikTok, unfortunately, and like is killing parts of the car scene because it's over showcasing things that probably should have been behind closed doors. So like take for example Japan at the moment.
It's just about
Japan is going through this big thing of like car enthusiast tourism, and that's grand when you're a part of the car, like even in your own home local place, you're part of the car scene, you understand how it works. The problem is like it's like F1. F1 takes like you have the very core group, but then there's a shit ton of people who are like, I'm into F1. They don't understand why F1 exists, why anything like that happens, and the same happens with car scene. So you end up having this point, and especially through Instagram, TikTok, all of that, where you no longer have just the core group who go out, have their fun, whatever. You have them plus all of the spectators, and then you have all of the spectators who have their phones out, and you have their spectators. So you have levels upon levels of levels, and everyone wants to get their 15 seconds of fame.
And the words.
And you look at Japan, and like Japan, like look, I've never been to Japan. I'd love to go, and of course, I'd love to experience these kind of things for myself.
The words you used last year to quote the exact words you said is you would love to do it in a fly in the wall kind of way.
Yeah, like,
and I completely agree with that.
Leave the phones at home, and like, look, I make my living by putting up videos of stuff online. You'll never see me put up a video of messing because, like...
Well, it's not really your thing.
It's not my thing, but at the same time, it's like certain times, those kind of things, the world doesn't need to see them.
Better been in here.
Yeah, the world doesn't need to see
the
things.
idea of it is better than the actual viewing of it.
Exactly. And like, unfortunately, you're damaging, like, I don't know why young lads think that the guards don't use TikTok. They do.
100% they do.
And like, I think people would be shocked to know just how easy it is to like look up a reg.
And you can actually Google the reg number in Google Images.
And you'll see every TikTok.
This actually happened just before Christmas. My brother's car was stolen. And when they found it, there was different number plates on it. And I just for the crack Google searched the reg number and straight away brought me to the Dundee lad for the car that's for sale in Donegal that was now on the plates abandoned on the car in Cork.
Well, it's the thing that gets me as well, and I can't remember if I kicked off about this last year, but one of the things that really gets me about all that thing, people taking, a lot of times it's kids taking videos. They don't have the sense to blur out videos. So like, it's one thing I don't really typically do because I guess now we're having a bit of a public image, I kind of have to be a wee bit careful.
Yeah.
You know, and like you won't see a video of me kicking a car out sideways coming onto a public road out of a car meet or out of like Dub Shed or something like, because if like absolutely King of the Cone or like the Drift Games Bash,
an event
100%
that's designed for that.
I'm hanging that car, but not at that. The thing is, all it takes is, and like I have a fairly well known car. You know, it's pretty unique.
You're not going to like, there's not another one
with a fairly unique number plate, and like so, all I have to do is come out sideways out of a car meet, and a wee kid, 14-year-old, has went and sticks this in TikTok, and you just see a policeman just looks at that and goes, F17 TBH, red Ford Sierra.
Is that your reg?
Yeah, fit to be honest. So
that's good.
But like, look, that kid mightn't be putting it up for a bad reason.
No, he's not. He's not. They're not.
That car is savage.
He's putting up because he thinks it's
your man's a legend. That's amazing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Thank you for all the compliments, guys. I really needed that. But like, I hear what you're saying. The wee guy's not. He's not doing that to go, I'm going to get this guy in so much trouble. That is not his MO.
He's showing off to his buddies at school. Look what I saw.
And here's the problem: is like, when I was in secondary school, we had Snapchat. We didn't have like, if you wanted to put a video out to the world, you had to put together a YouTube video.
Yes.
So like,
post it to your Facebook profile.
But even a Facebook profile didn't get far.
Yeah.
It just went to your friends.
Yeah.
And like I remember back like before COVID, because obviously, you know, TikTok took off during COVID. Before COVID, if you wanted to see what messing was what messing there was, like
You
type
get up
in
and go there.
Rally of the Lakes, Malls Gap compilation, Diffin, like
2016,
and it was the longest, and it's like just a terrible video that's just put together, and that's
Take
it.
me away in the background.
Now this is music 97 playlist going like, but like that was the only way that you kind of could see those things, and there might be 3 lads who were skilled enough in that crowd to put together a video, or even 3 lads who were bothered enough.
I'd say bothered enough is more
and
fine.
bothered enough because it was effort. You're not getting paid for it. You're not getting anything out of it, and you're realistically, it's on like a random YouTube account, like, you know, John loves Altez's 97. Like, it's just really, it's something really silly and random.
I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean when you're saying that. Like, but yeah, you're absolutely right. And then obviously now it's just
like everything. And again, when I was in secondary school, like,
are either of you 30 yet?
This year.
Later this year, yeah.
30. Damn.
You're still old.
But like everything stayed in like small groups. So like even if you'd Snapchat, it stayed in a small group. Everything kind of had a fence around it.
Yeah.
It couldn't go further. Whereas now it's almost like the stuff within a fence is dead, and everything now lives outside the fence in this kind of like uncontrolled realm where everyone can see it and everyone should see it. And like if you look back like pre-COVID, the conversations about car enthusiasts, it was always like people being like, oh, they're doing this on my road, they're doing whatever, they're making loads of noise. Like literally now we're at a stage where you're actually giving the Karens evidence.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Because you're like,
Here I am.
we didn't do those marks in the road. Don't know what you're on about.
Yeah.
And it's
well,
like,
here's 13 different angles of you doing it.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have to try.
And I don't know about you guys, but like I don't actually I don't enjoy watching that kind of content loads. Like the only times I enjoyed like watching lads do drifting and stuff like that is Shafian, you know, Sheepman. Have you ever watched his YouTube videos?
No sheep could drift.
I think he's Austrian or he's from Switzerland. And he goes like drifting like these back roads in the snow every winter. Like really good, serious driver, and it's pretty cool. Or like obviously like even flow, stuff like that. But like those are planned videos.
Yeah.
Those are planned videos.
Roads are closed.
And the roads are like, look,
well,
whatever, like
grey area closed.
You're not going to meet they're not going to meet a car.
No,
Okay,
no, they actually do. They actually do.
And whatever happens, or it's a private road, whatever. But it's a very different story when someone's a bystander, because then you get to the point where like, you know, you feel like you can't even host a car show now because you know that, well, there are going to be 40 lads on the side of the road. There's going to be loads of people in the middle island of the road. And then some lad's going to go broad sideways out the road.
Clip a child, clip
someone, clip something. And it's like...
But you see also as well, like people, like you'll see like a random kid will bring a comb to like a car meet and they'll place it on the road outside.
In the hopes, yeah.
Actually, do you know what? Like, is tomorrow the car show or the nighttime show here?
No, it's Thursday.
But like, also, I don't get like, you know, the parents that arrive to like these late night Tesco meets, and again,
with 4-year-olds,
just leave them out. Like leaving out an 11-year-old at like 11:30 in the middle of a city, or like in a Tesco or an M&S car park in a city. I'm like, where are you going? And it's not just one child. They'll have like the neighbours or the friends' child. And like, do all the parents think you're over at one person's house and that person's parents decided to ship you off to a Tesco car park? And my parents would have killed me.
Oh, annihilated me.
Absolutely been
100%.
And I love cars.
But see, the problem is, well, they don't have any concept, I don't think, because they're not been on the road. Like, you will have one side of a car park. Something will hit limiter at the other far corner.
They all Naruto
and
run.
Just run.
Naruto run, like across the front of everything.
And cars, everything.
I was sitting, pre-Donegal last year, they had a meet in outside the range. It always starts outside the range in Derry and then it heads down to Campsie. But I was sitting there in the car, and my car's playing a wee bit about with the temperatures. It was getting a bit warm in the oil temp. Just even that was just sitting. Found out what the problem was with that at a later stage. But these a group of weans, and I don't think they were any older than 10 or 11. And one of the boys come up to me and just goes, "Will you diff that roundabout out there?" And I was just like, "No." And he just looked at me and went,
Fine, so yeah.
and like literally just as if the
Wait till you get to my age and you're fighting for your license.
and they're like,
tires
and the
petrol
car's setting off, and I'm like, or someone else will come up and go, and look, I loved cars as a child too, but I didn't have the balls to go up to like to someone and go, "Will you go hit the limiter?"
You have to do it.
Yeah. But the worst is like when you see then it's like, and like there's blatantly guards there, there's blatantly something, and it's like,
Pussy. I was like, this is going to take me away.
like, like you're 8 going around calling people pussy.
Yeah.
Like what? Where? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
And again,
Yeah.
this comes back to like the not understanding stuff. Like the amount of times I've been shouted at by like 8-year-olds being like, you know, dude, you know,
I'll do you one better.
but you know, drift or like send her lad and whatever, and it's like the car's 4-wheel drive. Like I'm
going to send myself over the roundabout.
I'll actually do you one better. I get shouted at by a young cup's father for not bouncing my car off the limiter.
You're a terrible person.
I know.
You're evil.
terrible
You ruined that
person. It was
child's
like,
day.
Rev it. And I was like, it's cold and it's far. It's just like, you can't just rev the car for him. And I was like, no, the car's cold. He goes, it's not going to hurt. And I was like, it's a cold
That's
engine.
exactly what
I
it's
was
going
like,
to do.
it's a cold engine.
Yeah.
I goes, no, spend a lot. I goes, here, look, if I rev it and something happens, I goes, you going to pay to fix it? No.
That's either I roar petrol money back at him. Don't they? Rev it, petrol money.
It's so like, and I look, and it's even like you're driving by and you get like people, like these guys, the young cubs will stand, they'll go, and they're standing at a crossroads, and I'm just like, I'm just going to randomly at 4 o'clock in the middle of the day start
In the
throwing.
middle of town now.
But the problem is, someone does.
But someone
Yeah.
does, and it's always like for example, like some of the cards shows around here and stuff. Like it's
Call
always
them shows.
some lad, yeah, not a show, but it's some lad in like a diesel Merc.
That's got 2 space savers on the back.
It's always a diesel Merc with like the wheels painted the wrong color, like and
rattle can pink and the tires are
I'm
all
amazed that it's
Exactly.
always a diesel Merc, because that is just not something I would see up north.
no.
We'd see a diesel Merc, but they're normally bagged. They're normally quite tastefully done.
But
Yeah,
see,
no, that's
see,
on you.
you guys have finance, so you can actually get the proper versions.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
down here,
the proper
down
version
here.
that's outside.
I was actually going to ask you: is it real?
That's real, yeah.
I was driving behind one the last day that I was like, "This is definitely not real." But he passed me.
C220 63.
Yeah, 100%. Like you could tell because the outs. It was like he liked a certain type of wheel on Instagram or he saw it online or something. It was like those wheels are mint, but never
order the specs.
never looked up the spec.
So was it poking
So they're
about that
like,
much?
they're way
Well, and then you also see like,
And then obviously he put them on like his old tires because like they're stretched, but they're not good stretched.
Yeah, they're
it's just like-
way too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
yikes. Yeah.
But yeah.
Look, how do you fix it? Like the question is, how do you fix it? Can you fix it? Do we delete everything? Do we just go back into small little bubbles? Maybe so. Maybe there needs to be a little bit of a hierarchy of like.
Then you're fucked and I'm fucked.
But are we like? Look, we always know that like this mightn't last forever anyway. But like we all know that like this is not going like this might last forever, amazing. But if it doesn't, how bad? We've had a good run, we've enjoyed ourselves, and we've done some cool stuff in the process, and we've learned loads.
I think what's going to actually be the stop is when fellas realise that they're getting caught, or that there's actually like a big clamp down on the.
So I'd say there probably are younger ones listening to this. You shouldn't, because we swear, naughty. But and I don't want to deter young lads from getting in the cars. Like, I am not going off and around here because like I was a young lad who stood at shows. And I didn't have the concept of oil temperature not being a thing when I was 8 or 11. And I was also being like, oh, I hope he revs it. I hope he revs it. But at the same time, I wasn't gobby enough to shout at people, go, rev it. Like, that wasn't my nature.
And no young fella knows all of that stuff. But
actually,
just be willing
I got
to
really, really impressed by a wee cub. I was up at my now wife's home place.
Does that feel weird to say yet?
Huh?
Does that feel weird to say yet?
I don't think I'll ever feel normal. But
Not your fifth.
we're sitting outside the Spire,
Next.
and I was in the AS 300, and a wee lad came up and was like, "Whenever you're coming out here, will you like do a hoop for us?" And I was just like, "No," I was like this thing's auto. He goes, "Oh," he's like, "You haven't converted it," and I was like, "Hey," and then he was like, "Oh," I was like, "This is a 300." He goes, "Oh, 2J." I know, and like this cub was really young, and then I said,
Yeah.
"How do you know this?" He goes, "Oh, my dad is a mechanic."
Yeah.
and I was like, "Fair play."
Does this because I met one at Mill Street now, and he was like, he genuinely just walked up and asked questions. He was like, it wasn't a case of can you rev it, can you do this? It's like, how did you get your car to go solo?
Yeah.
It's on air ride.
Once this fella,
What's air ride?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go through it, explain it to him, and everything. Then it's like, do you mind if I take a picture of the inside? I goes, it's open, jump in. Do you know, like, and that was
But
not
I-
important enough for him.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And that wee lad, to be fair, whenever I said, "Look, it's automatic," he was like, "Oh, not even manual swap." Do you know,
Yeah.
the fact he knew, I was like, "Do you know what? Like, fair
But,
play."
Yeah.
but that's the flip side, and I think that's the very important flip side. And I don't think that side of
That should be
the young
nourished.
lads
Yeah, exactly.
gets that kind of the good attention, because the knowing facts is it's kind of like more people are appreciating it, but the kind of doing silly stuff with cars videos do better.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're a young lad and you're like, you know, look, when we were young, we dreamt of doing like Top Gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. What we do now didn't really exist when we were young.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Well, the only way you'd have got three people talking about someone would have been radio.
Yeah, exactly.
And you aren't getting on radio for cars.
Yeah. and like, so for those young lads, like, it's amazing to see. And like, I've had it a couple of times driving like really niche cars, and you'll see some young lad at a petrol station, and he'd be like, "That's savage." Like, I remember I was up the country driving a 190 Evo 1, and like, they're not as mad as the Evo 2, not as many people know. And he was like, "Is she genuine Evo 1?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Class. I like them more than Evo 2. Everyone just like builds Evo 2s nowadays, blah, 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 all of this." And I was like, "Savage, you know the stuff, because like, you've been looking through YouTube videos, you've been looking through Wikipedia, you've gone down all the rabbit holes." And I think this kind of ties back to the TDI thing. Unfortunately, it's always the people who barely scratch the surface that damage it
most-
and ruin it for
I
everyone
get
else.
the most attention.
It's the people
Yeah.
who spend enough time to dig deep, to understand everything, to understand what this culture means, what everything about it is, to make their own kind of opinions and decisions. Those are the people who will end up shaping, that's what I was when I was younger. I didn't go to many car shows. I didn't get involved much. I spent all of my time either playing Gran Turismo or reading
Yeah.
and researching all of these kind of things, and learning, just, you know, talking to the owners. And that's one thing that's like, we'll probably see it at many shows this year, where all the young lads for the whole show will be stood at the exit. Whereas the biggest opportunity you have to get involved in cars is actually talk to the owners.
Yeah.
When did they buy it? How did they buy it? What was their first car? You know, what was worth doing on it? What's not worth doing on it? You know, what's the power in it? Like, maybe dream and think about like, look, that lad has a Sierra Cosworth. Could I maybe get a Sierra one day? What could I get? And like, I think that's the kind of, it's the lads who stay back and look at the show and talk to the people. They're going to be the next generation of car enthusiasts.
That was definitely us.
And that was definitely
Definitely
us. And they're going to be the people who'll shape the next generation of what's to come. The people that are stood at the exit filming stuff, they're going to have their hype. And I'd like to think some of them will be like, "Do you know what? This is great, but
I'd actually prefer to be inside the show."
Let's walk back into the show."
Yeah.
Because, you know, what's the point? Again, when I do stuff, I try film stuff that's unique, that's different. Like, what's the point in having 55 different angles of exactly the same car leaving? There's no way to really put a creative spin on it. There's no way to do anything that's different with it. Whereas if you stay back in a show and you learn the stories, and you maybe put a microphone on random owner, or you take a photograph, or you do whatever, that's how you'll start standing out and like making your own voice and making your own thing heard. And like, I think like biggest learning that like just from what I do is just don't get distracted by the sudden hype.
Yeah.
Like, a viral video is not going to make or break your life.
No.
You have to do the same thing over and over again that people care about, even when it's not
Yeah. And
viral.
just, as well, like, as the young ones, don't be afraid to come up to.
Yeah,
100%. Like, yeah, I will not.
I'll
never.
stop and talk to a young fella faster than I'll talk.
Because
I'll
I was so, and like we actually talked about this, and I actually had a bit of flashback from the previous podcast I did with Gath and Evans, because I had actually made a comment saying, like, I looked at all them guys and I thought they would look down on farmers, and
he's a farmer,
and he's into the farming.
farmer. Yeah.
And he was like, it's like, I can't understand why you would think that. And I said, there was a certain group, and I see it now with ones in my generation too, but there was a certain group of that older generation that just came into the scene, thought they were something, and now none of them are in it anymore.
Yeah.
And they were real arrogant. And like, if you tried to ask them a question, they nearly wouldn't tell you anything, or they'd smirk and laugh. And I was like, I never. And I see people who now get like that, who are my generation, and even the generation below, and I'm just like, they're all in a big gatekeeping. Like, someone asked me,
gatekeeping.
Someone asked me a spec of my car. I will tell you everything.
Everything that you know.
I will gladly tell you. I don't want you to go through the torture.
It's the same as painted with me. People be gatekeeping colours.
Fuck that.
Like, you come up to me, oh, lad, is that a custom colour? No, my colour's a Ferrari colour. No, it's posh, but it's like, no, it's a factory Ferrari colour. You can just order it. Same thing, there's no point gatekeeping any of that stuff. It's the only way you learn is to...
I just swore I would never become one of them people.
Yeah.
So see if a young lad, or even a young girl, or whoever, or even like an older fella who's interested comes up and asks me, sometimes people can't get timing right. Sometimes people are a wee bit unaware.
Yeah.
But bless them. But
you're polishing your car in the middle of Dublin. Give me 5 minutes till I put the cloth down.
But like,
or when you're bursting to go to the jacks, and it's like you're on the way.
I'm not being rude. I'll be back
at the door, and then someone's like, and it's like, I'll literally be back in like 2 minutes. Just like, yeah. But I think even with that topic is really, really like, how would I say? There is a lot of snobbery. There is a lot of gatekeeping.
There's a lot of snobbery and gatekeeping.
And I don't
like it.
And it comes down to the fact that people forget that this is a culture, that this is a community. It's not about singular people.
And they also forget they were the ones that didn't know at one point.
But also, okay, great. If it was a singular thing and it wasn't a community, well, then what's the point in having something that only you can appreciate? Okay, what's the point in having that? It is a culture. We're all part of this. None of us are here to have the best cars. Like, Jack doesn't like Audis, but he still puts up with me for some reason. I don't
not like Audis.
Yeah,
I just don't like your way of doing them up.
But that's fair. Like, to be fair, that like,
you want everything standard. I want to fucking cut the axles out of everything.
I'm not the biggest fan of like wide bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we've two different tastes on it. But we still be at the same shows. We'd still get on,
tolerate each other.
Yeah, we tolerate each other.
Oh, he nearly did lose me in Watergrass Hill this year when he put a fucking Kerry jersey on the back of my car. Especially considering Kerry were playing the All Ireland that day.
That's it. Your dog riled up another dog that jumped on my car.
No, my dog was sitting nice and calm.
Was
I was looking at the Alsatian and I jumped on your car going, what the fuck is his problem?
Yeah. But no, I think like, look, there's so many, and I really struggle with this because Facebook groups.
That was such a random drive. There was me in my car, him in his six. I can't for the life of me remember your friend's name, the postman. Jamie, in a car that hadn't been washed in about 6 years.
That was also an
just
F6.
Cruising down the road, we're like, we are the greatest mix. And there was another guy in a Golf.
Yeah. And then that other Audi 80 with the 1.8 in it.
Yeah, it was like weird as
very eclectic,
Yeah. Jamie decided that, or well, me and
sun cream on the car.
He was like, I'm gonna get ahead of the kids putting sun cream on my car, so he put sun cream on the car himself.
Jamie's a funny fucker.
Yeah, he's like the same guy.
Do you know, like, what was that shirt that the things the lads be doing, like the anti club? Like the anti-detailing. He'll purposely dirty the car for the show.
Okay. That's another thing. So, for example, Facebook groups. I really struggle with Facebook groups. For German cars, there's one in particular I don't like. I don't like that group. Unfortunately, it's the biggest German one. You probably know the one I'm on about.
Nope.
Okay.
We're not into German cars. I built a Japanese car out of my German car.
But like, there's certain groups like that,
You're not
and,
gonna tell
and
us.
it's like there's certain.
No, he's
No,
not.
No, he's not.
He doesn't want it himself.
There's literally only one German car group on Facebook.
E36 Owners Club.
No, okay.
Burn all the
46
Mark
owners
4s. Burn all the Mark 5s. Burn all the Mark 3s.
I'm sure John W. whatever the fuck it is was a lot about German cars for a while.
To be fair, the amount of like trolling and shit posting groups I'm in.
Car buy,
I'm in
car,
so
buy
many
and
shit
sell Ireland.
posting
Are you
groups
into
as
all
well.
of the like the inbreds are into Mark IV ownership now?
I see the Purs now own, I see the Purs own BMWs now and stuff like that.
there's
Yeah.
an Audi one as well.
It's a fucking good one.
Like, and I own 2 Mark IVs. Like,
Yeah, because
I love
anyone
Mark
could have one.
IVs. I love Mark IVs. But like, sorry, Facebook groups. There's so much snobbery on it, and like, there's so many groups where it's like, it has to be a certain way, it has to be cleaned a certain way, it has to be done a certain way,
Don't get me
modified a
started
certain
on the
day.
fucking Facebook.
And like, I really struggle with that because at the end of the day, the cars are there to be driven. They're there to be enjoyed by the people who enjoy them. And the idea is maybe you inspire other people to do similar things. The car is like, a clean car is a car that's not driven in Ireland. Realistically, if a car is spotless, it just hasn't been driven.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you clean it and you go a mile down the road,
It's minging.
things filthy.
And I
And like, yeah, there's a lot of car shows in Ireland where you see cars that you know for a fact that this car is only trailered in an enclosed trailer to different show after show after show. I get it, it's cool,
Some
just not my thing.
prick said that about my car on the.
That's fair. You just trailer your car to shows anyway.
But it was some fella saw it in Mill Street again at the show at the weekend. Some fella come to drift car, Lord, and he goes, "I don't think he drifts it," and all this shit. And I just like, what? You just reminded me that I was in the middle of commenting underneath, going, "Just go to my page. You'll see me doing rings, and I do drive it. It's just it doesn't have NCT, so I can't take it down the road."
But again, like, I look, no, I love going to drift or to dub
Lord,
shed.
here first, he loves going to drift events.
Yeah, I do love going to drift events. I love going to dub shed.
you should come to the
Like,
bash.
I remember the first time I went to Dub Shed and had the S6 there was lads going around it and just pointing out stuff of like a scratch or something else, and like, you know,
I
they're
can't say shit. I'm going painting the car again this year for us.
fair.
Mine's
But,
going to be
like-
ready this year though for Dub Shed.
What?
You going to be ready for Dub Shed this year?
Yeah.
Mine's going to be ready. I'm not going to. Like, remember, I was tinting mine last year in the hall.
Yeah.
But like, there was lads there pointing out different stuff that was wrong with my S6, and overheard it, watched it, whatever.
One side's a different colour to the other.
But like, bear in mind that was, let's say, I got up to Dub Shed the Friday morning. Thursday night at like 8-9 p.m, the car was inside, literally next door, didn't run, and hadn't driven a decent distance. The only distance that car had driven was 2 minutes to an NCT centre in the last 12 years beforehand. And the car, midnight, I drove it back to Killarney, tore the exhaust off going up my driveway, and then still drove it 5.5 hours up to Dub Shed, had it inside, and there's lads going around picking apart stuff, and I'm like, look, it's still a work in progress. I drive the car. I bring it to Donegal Rally. I bring it to all of these places. I don't care if it's not perfect.
I'm very
Like,
much of that same
as soon
opinion.
as it's perfect, I won't drive it. So why the fuck would I ever make it perfect?
Mhm. I'm of the same opinion. Like,
If I had a 911 in the morning, I'd have the thing filthy all the fucking time. The thing would be filthy and have a roof box, because I think that's a hell of a lot cooler than a perfectly polished, clean car.
I've said this in multiple podcasts now, but I know people who have, now in fairness, I have one friend, Jack McGarry, who's got an R32 GTR. Jack tracks that car.
Is that the, I was going to say, is that the one that was at the bad?
That's immaculately clean.
That is
And he drives that on track. Like
you can have
he's
both.
living on borrowed time.
And again, the Bash is like the opposite extreme of like the super polished show bills. Like, the Bash is the opposite extreme of that. So like, in between, you've just the normal people who just want to drive their cars on the road. The Bash is like basically an inverted version of the super clean show bills. It's lads who don't care enough. Like,
Not
I
so
think
much
it's
now.
changed
It
a
is
bit.
Yeah, I
it's
get you.
definitely changed now, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken my car to the Bash. I now do
Before.
take my car to the Bash. Like,
Fair.
I drift my car at the Drift Games
Yeah.
Bash. I just say to the marshals, give me space, let me
Yeah.
go.
yeah, and
And
it's nice to be able to do that.
And you will, and look, to be fair, the marshals are so sound.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out to Owen Walsh.
Owen Walsh and Jay Percival.
Oh,
They're the
I got some stories about Jay. If Jay watches,
Jay does watch.
We went to Foss together.
Oh,
well, he was in the same building as us.
fair. Like, and I think that's why I've kind of sort of moved away from the show scene, although obviously I'll still be at Dubshed. I'm kind of not as caring about the shows because, as I say, a lot of the older generation with that snobbery, and now seeing it as well with others, I'm kind of like, do you know what? Things just don't change. But there are the likes of Dubshed I will always support because it's just incredible. We have some.
There's some fellas at Dubshed around, like, I can't mind the name. That's a pure Northern. Jesus Christ, I'm listening to you too much. I can't mind. I can't remember the name of the man who won Dubshed last year.
Was it the Merc?
The Merc.
That's so cool.
He followed me on Instagram. He drove it from Scotland.
I thought it was London.
Is it London?
Like,
it's somewhere.
but
he's
cool.
Yes,
and agreed.
That's cool.
You weren't there last year.
No.
The man has the cool, like, he's what you'd imagine a hipster would be in their 60s.
And like,
It's so gangster.
He was so cool. But he
so
had the time, he'd stop and talk to you. He wasn't this, like, his car won realistically the biggest show in Ireland, and he was the nicest man to talk to.
like for me, one of the the dream show or dream things in the world, car culture wise, is Vertise.
Is what? Oh, Vertise. Wurtsy. Say it in your Irish accent. Wurtsy.
Is it not coming back?
Vertise. It's coming back.
Yeah.
So it started making a comeback. Basically, the town got rid of them, thought they'd make loads of money in tourism if there's no cars, realised that they lost loads of money in tourism, and now they want it back.
So, Letterkenny.
Is that Klagenfurt?
Say again?
Is that in Klagenfurt?
It's down that kind of... Klagenfurt, I think, is a town nearby. It's gorgeous.
part of the world.
It's gorgeous. And
I love Austria.
It's one of those where it's like, it's a pilgrimage.
Is it Austria?
It's a pilgrimage, and at the end of the day, I love that idea of like that automotive is like a religion. Like it's this idea that
I agree.
we all believe in the same thing. We practice it in different ways, showcase in different ways, but that we all go to like these one locations. So, for example, I mightn't like everything about Donegal Rally.
I was going to say, it is our version of it.
But I love Donegal Rally. And
Agreed.
like when I put out
Completely
that YouTube
agree.
video last year, I got a lot of slack for it because I said that Donegal Rally is our version of Vertise. And if you compare like car for car, it's a different league, okay? It is a different league. But if you see like what it does within our car culture, it has the same purpose for us that Vertise does for like German and like Central European
But
car
you've lads that
culture.
go to Donegal who have no interest in rally.
Yeah.
They just go because there's cars.
But that's
But
a
it's
subculture. It's a Letterkenny town is a subculture.
And like, look, lads go drinking there, but it's exactly the same in Vertise because lads will just get a deck chair and sit
And
out
sit on the
with
side of the
beers.
road with beers and watch the cars go by.
yeah.
Another one I'm going to go to hopefully this year is Car Freitag, which is basically
It sounds terrifying in German.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
That does sound pretty.
it's basically Good Friday. So Good Friday at the Nürburgring is like this mecca of a thing to go to.
Okay, didn't know that.
So if you want, we can fly from Kerry.
You can fly to Kerry.
From Kerry to Frankfurt Hahn. Frankfurt Hahn's only an hour away from Nürburgring. That's how I usually go.
I'm off Good Friday.
But like so like it's
I'm
those
off
kind
Good
of
Friday.
One second. Matt, is it a kind of a trip or is it an errand trip?
Well,
an errand
it's
trip
the
is he
same
books a
thing.
one-way flight.
Ah,
And we'll decide, I might come back or I could end up in Portugal.
Fair, yeah.
I saw one Porsche appear on some fella's Instagram story in Morocco, so now I'm going to Morocco.
All jokes aside, I was I booked a flight to Barcelona today. Don't have a return flight.
When are you going? Tomorrow.
Thursday.
Yeah.
did actually say,
So 2 days
you
time.
did actually say to me, you're like, I might be away the later part of this week.
Yeah. And actually, I thought I was going to London, but then I was like, the weather's too shit there, and like, I'm used to the cars. I know the cars over there, so I was like, I want to see what they have in Barcelona. Like, what
Oh, so
normal cars.
you're not going for some form of sponsor or actual. You're just going because you just want to see.
I just want to.
Don't listen to him. He's going over because he's fucking cold.
No, all jokes aside, it's not because I'm cold. I'm cold here.
But like blew the fuses in her radiators.
Yeah.
So
This one's still working. It's been a
bullshit. Is it? Fuck it is too. And Ireland be colder.
He's frozen.
But like, I love learning about the culture of different cars in different places of the world. So like, Lisbon was amazing. And I always like going to Portugal because the cars that many of us find special here, they don't find special and they still use them as normal cars. So like
because they don't rust either.
Yeah, but there's economic reasons why as well they can't afford new cars. Like, and I get that. And anytime I put up a post from there, they're like, "Oh, we can't afford the new cars." But like W124 Mercedes are everywhere. 190Es are everywhere. E34s
Yep.
are everywhere.
They have a lot of
E30s are everywhere.
I know
like
that
Citroen
even.
Saxos, all of that. And I'm like, this is class. Like, this is like
Greece is like that too, you know.
and they're all banged up. They're all destroyed. But I'm like, this is class. Like, imagine if we could take that, bring it back home.
Well, here's something interesting about Portugal specifically.
They're the same kind of import tax rules as we do too.
You can't. So if your car came diesel from the factory, you're not allowed to put a petrol engine on it.
Yeah.
It's completely illegal. Same way round. If you have a car that's petrol from factory, you cannot put a diesel on it.
Yeah.
It's completely illegal. So like, there's a guy who I would talk back and forwards with them as performance. He actually makes PD engine conversion kits for Sierras. Because a lot of the cars that came, a lot of the Sierras that came to Portugal were diesel.
Were diesels,
The 2.3s or the 1.8 TDs, yes.
That's the only thing. You have loads of W124s. They're all diesel.
Yeah.
You have loads of E34s. All diesel.
But they all have, the W124s probably have the OM 606 engine.
Yeah.
Or maybe the OM 603.
Yeah, 602 or 603.
60, that's a single cam. That's the early version. You still get good power out of them.
I've never seen as many E36 325 TDSs. You know? Like, savage. That's cool. Like
Jack Mulcahy spec.
Like, like that's cool. And like, to be fair, so that's why we're going to Barcelona, is because I think with the phase I'm currently at with like content and stuff, I'm trying to document but also kind of in a way archive these cars that are still being used as normal cars, because we don't have it here. It's pretty much because of you, Les. It's died out in the UK. It's dying out in many places in the world. And like, you should see me when I'm over there. I'll take photos of all these cars, take them on film, and at one point I will put together some kind of a book of like different cars in different places, because I love the idea that these old cars are still being used as normal cars back as they would have been in the 80s or 90s.
You should go to one of the Greek islands as well, like Rhodes or somewhere like that. So I was there a few years ago, and it's like, again, exactly as you say.
Yeah.
There's cars don't rust, despite the fact that it's sea air, sea climate. You'd think they would.
Just dry enough, I suppose.
But the thing is, the paint on
It's
all of them,
absolutely like lacquer peel for days.
everything is
just no lacquer
horrible.
Yeah.
But you'd be walking through and you would still see, like, you guys would call it like an Opel Astra Mark III. They're very uncommon here now, or like the Mark III Cavalier, like stuff that we've just seen back in the 90s and early 2000s. We do not have them now. Like,
No.
and it's just,
and that's one thing that I kind of feel like it's really missing, is this idea. And again, Germany has it at times as well. Not so much in the winter anymore, because the cars are kind of becoming too special for that. But during the rest of the year, you will see like people just like. The thing, what I love about Germany, and it's exactly the way I do it, use the modern car throughout the winter. Like, you take the new car, the most expensive car you own, and just use that as your winter beater, and then use the old car that you've owned for 25 years as the summer car.
I can see the logic in that.
But it's just the heater is better than the modern one.
I love that.
That's car guy logic.
Yeah.
That's car guy logic. I completely get that.
Like, I don't want a press car during the summer. I want to drive my cars during the summer.
Yeah.
But during the winter, I'm like, give me whatever.
Absolutely. I will drive this Hyundai i20.
But I'll say,
He's not that bad, Jesus.
Last year you were going to fall out with Hyundai.
Wait, oh yeah,
Because your
the car
sister's
got
car.
sorted. Yeah, the car
Was that
got.
literally?
They actually text me today, saying the car was due a service. Yeah,
And we are very, very sorry.
yeah. But yeah, no, like, I think
You say your mind is going. Fucking you remember that.
I listened to the pod just before I came.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think we need more of that. Like the UK started doing it with, like, I don't know if you've seen what's that car show? Haggerty runs this car show, Festival of the Unexceptional.
That
Have you
sounds
seen that?
incredible.
And it's just like the most. It's like
Like a 1.6
It's basic-
Focus Mark 1.
it's yeah,
Poverty spec.
it's basically like a Waitrose car park in like 1987.
That
And it's like the most like full of like
amazing.
1 liter metros and like
I love that. I
Like,
actually love that.
and I'm like, do you know what? I get to experience a lot of cool cars, but I'll be just as excited about seeing something that others would view as a shitbox.
Do you know what?
Just for the fact that someone's actually driving that still in 2026.
Do you know what? This kind of relates. It's not. So it's more farmer chat. But me and Conor went to this show in the Icon Centre, same place where Dubshed is, a couple of weeks ago, and so like this. It's they actually had the same show in Mill Street in Cork, County Cork. Basically the Spring Farm Machinery Show. All the most fantastic of equipment. It's unreal.
Yeah.
And I said to Conor, I was like, do you know what, Conor? I was like, as much as I love this, I think I'd have as much fun walking through Ballymena Auction Yard, where it's all the old equipment.
Shit, just rusting.
And again, and that's why I'm sitting like listening to you to say about the festival on Exceptional. I'm like, that just
It's
sounds
that kind of
amazing.
shit that makes me giddy. Like even Retromobile, like this year was like the year of the Enzo. Like an Enzo sold the week before Retromobile for like 15 million. Everyone wanted Enzos. So like the amount of Enzos, F40s, F50s, all of those kind of cars that were there. The part that got me the giddiest was the 30,000 euro or less section.
Yeah,
because you went through now. Massively overpriced everything. It's like they took 30,000 euro or less and was like, my car needs to be as close to the 30,000 mark as possible because all the cars were for sale. But like some savage stuff in there, and cars that you just kind of forget exist. And like, look, I get to spend a lot of time around really interesting cars, and I've come away from it learning that I don't care about as many of them as I thought I would. And there's a lot of cars that are never meet your heroes.
Oh God, yeah.
Carrera GT.
I still
he
like
nearly
him.
did a Paul Walker.
Oh,
Did you not see the video? Oh yeah.
did you lose it?
Not losers. Nearly.
It almost lost me.
Was this a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
I think I should.
Alwyn
It's
sat in the
Porsche
car
game.
beside me.
Porsche gave him one for the crack.
And
And then he says his job's stressful.
On the wettest day of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
I did
like
this.
that was one
Yeah.
car where I was like, I don't actually enjoy this. I wish I never drove it because this wasn't an enjoyable experience. But then the same day they also had like other
But I think a lot of
Porsches.
people actually say that about them.
yeah, but like
They just hate
But
driving them.
is it
Yeah.
the 930 Turbo as well? Was it called the
Widowmaker.
Widowmaker?
But there was a 993 turbo there that I drove a couple of times, and there was a 959. Now 959 was just like for me, any day of the week, I'd take a 959 over a Carrera GT,
I think the 959 is my favourite Porsche.
and it was
Followed by a
shocking.
930 Turbo, which I wouldn't want to drive.
It was shocking for like a car that was as fast essentially as a Ferrari F40, how sophisticated and normal it felt to drive. Like the only thing that you'd kind of be like, oh, this is a bit weird, is it just had a really heavy clutch. Like that was
You're
the
used
only
to a
thing.
paddle clutch.
But like
probably.
my S6 has the same weight of, heavy clutch. It was just weird in comparison to some of the other Porsches that were there that day. But like everything was so mechanical. The wastegate was so mechanical. You could hear the clink of the
Love that.
wastegate. You could hear the blow off valve, the clink of
Even
everything.
changing gears.
Yeah, and like
Define.
and even there was actually no diff wine.
Oh.
It was
They're
actually
4-wheel drive, aren't they?
Yeah,
So they're front on.
super sophisticated car. And then the 993 Turbo, which is essentially kind of like taking a lot of those learnings and making them, like the two of those cars were, like the 993 Turbo especially, exceptional. Because they're both 4-wheel drive. It was a really, really wet day. And like,
993 Turbo was 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
they were, really, really wet day. And like both of those cars, like the Carrera GT, probably the perfect car for like perfect conditions.
Mhm.
959 and 993, like the perfect car for imperfect conditions. And I think that's why I like 4-wheel drive, because the weather's always like this. So like, what's the point for me personally? I'm like, I enjoy driving. I enjoy like driving on. Like, I like having that kind of under control. And like at that point in time, I was like, I don't need rear-wheel drive
Mhm.
to make me enjoy this car. And yeah, it's
More fun though.
If you want a fast
look,
rear wheel drive in this country, you're not going anywhere quickly. I try to drive my car fast. I can't drive my car
Yeah.
fast, and I'm not a good enough driver to try and drive my car fast in the rain because I could be spinning fifth gear. And that is no word of a lie. I can.
And look, there's times where you find that fun. There's times where you find that really enjoyable.
Mondello, where you
Yeah.
have runoff area,
Yeah.
not on a road where the hedge is here and the hedge is
but
here.
even when I had the M2 there for a bit, like the M2, like savage car, amazing. But I had it on the wettest week of the year, and that thing was just constantly just like even with traction control fully on,
Fighting itself.
I'm sure Donald's probably going to laugh outside. That thing was fighting itself the whole time. And like the M5 a couple of weeks later, and the M5 felt so sedate against it because that thing is 4-wheel drive and has way too much power. But again, it's like it's finding that balance of what you enjoy, how you enjoy driving, and what your own limits are. And unfortunately, the roads around here, like they're not
great. Like,
they're not good enough to justify having a really high horsepower rear wheel drive. And like even lads with chasers and stuff, like
lads with chasers are getting an awful doing this podcast.
it's literally one of my favorite cars. But like you're completely,
I adore chasers. And sure, even I said earlier about 4-wheel drive ones.
But you're right. It's like,
I adore those cars. But you can't drive those cars like a sports car.
Can you drive your car like a sports car in the rain?
Yeah,
I'm sure you can.
Yeah,
it's got wide enough tires to deal with it. You see,
are you running good quality tires?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's actually probably more fun in the rain. It's actually more predictable in the rain, which is
really
kind of terrifying.
My car just doesn't go anywhere.
Really?
If I come off the tools in the rain, it's literally fourth gear and you're still in the one spot.
Oh, I can make it do that too, but it's...
Oh no, that's not rolling burnout. That's just it can't catch grip.
Sure, I was driving for the tie drive this year in the rain and everything, just flat out up the M50 racing a 430 Ferrari.
I don't even race in my car because it's so...
That wasn't... we were flat out in the Golf R. The guard of Golf R passed us like we were stopped. But, I mean, the guards were not doing anything illegal. They definitely didn't go up the hard shoulder.
But again, it just comes to like what you enjoy. Like there's some lads that enjoy that. I think there's a misconception as well with like, because of TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of these things.
You don't need 500 horsepower.
You don't need 500.
Absolutely do not.
Coming from a fellow with it.
You know?
You don't
and like the 993, that 993 turbo was the best example of that. I think that's 450 horsepower. And
that's too much. And
like there was times, and I won't say what speeds we were doing, but we weren't on the Autobahn and we were doing
considerable... The German police can't get you.
Considerable, yeah, but they will take my German passport away from me.
For breaking the rules.
I do not want to lose my identity.
So... why did I start? But like that was a car that like under pretty high speeds, and like we were in a convoy, and I had the guy, incredible driver Jörg Bergmeister behind me, and he was the guy who, together with Michael Schumacher, developed the Carrera GT, and he also, do you know the new record for the Nürburgring in the Carrera GT that was set like last year or 2 years ago with like new tires?
Okay,
that was him. So he was the guy behind me. So he was the guy behind me, egging me on the whole time. And like the 993 and the 995.
Yeah, terrifying.
You see, that's why I had my little Carrera GT moment. But the 959 and the 993 turbo, like, it would be tough for anything to be as quick as that 993 turbo was. Because it's a small car, it's really controlled. It did exactly what you wanted it to do.
Yeah.
At any point in time, it did not leave you stuck, stranded. It did not leave you feeling like you look down and there's a 2 at the start of the speed, and you're like, okay, interesting. So, you know, it's really good at 20 kilometers an hour.
I even reached 25 at one point.
But like, it's a really, it was such a brilliant car, and to come away from that being like 450 is more than enough in a car like that.
Yeah.
Then you get to the point of like, okay, I actually think if you have a rear wheel drive car, you can probably halve that.
Well, I'm under the impression, unless you're a top level drifter or a top level race driver or just someone with balls the size of this entire room, anybody that turns around and says anything less than 600 horsepower isn't really that quick. Hasn't driven anything over 150 horsepower.
Properly.
I also think there's a difference there, because a 600 horsepower car can feel slow. It can, a 600 horsepower car.
A lot of those
can
new Mercedes
yeah.
and M cars,
That
they
actually-
can
I was
feel
gonna
slow.
actually-
feel slower than
funny,
a 400 horsepower car.
That was actually another thing I was going to bring up, and I know we're conscious that we're running out of
Yeah.
time here, but one other thing that I was going to bring up at the start of the podcast, and I actually thought about asking you in the way here, is like, you've an RB25 E36,
Mhm.
okay, 499.
99.6. Could not get the 0.4 out of it.
But is that 95 round?
Huh?
Is that 95 round? Just
Have-
normal, or is that
Normal
super?
petrol, yeah, that's just normal.
Okay.
Have
'cause
you
I-
thrown dip 10 into?
No.
But already.
No, that's just normal petrol, yeah.
all right, because I
That's
technically
pump fuel. Yeah,
technically have more horsepower, but not in pump fuel.
yeah, fuck you.
But the reason I'm saying is, and it come back, it actually ties in well with the entire start of this podcast when we were talking about raffle companies, is people like likes of M4s and stuff. On a wet day, I will see someone on like an M4, tuned M4, going out and overtaking.
Hmm.
Do some people think? Do these cars make people think they're better drivers than they actually are?
Yeah.
I think so. And even with the power side of things, there's 2 points with that. So with the power side, a lot of people think that, like, especially on online, they think the bigger number is always better.
Yeah, no,
And
it's not.
a couple of years ago, there was a German YouTuber called JP Kramer, JP Performance. I don't know if you've seen him. Does really cool stuff. And he bought this 1200 horsepower Supra from Sweden or somewhere. Crazy car. But they put it on his dyno, and they bought it because it had a high power number and it would have done really good YouTube views.
Yeah.
They put it on their dyno, and they were like, this thing is just stupid, because up until 7,500 RPM, it only had 155 horsepower.
Yeah, I would believe that.
So
Yeah.
You get 1,000 horsepower in a fucking
he was like, within maybe 500 to 1,000 RPM, you have an extra essentially 1,050 horsepower.
Because it's so laggy.
Okay, and he was like, this is not an enjoyable experience.
No.
So like,
It's a race car.
if you're drag racing, amazing. But like, imagine being in a car that's 1,200 horsepower and being at like 6,500 RPM and only having 150 horsepower.
The best one is, did you ever see, what's his name, Cletus in the
Yeah.
States? He has a video of that. He just like puts his car into fifth and puts the shoe down and times it. It's like loading.
again,
And he's just like, there's cars passing next to you. It just bang, gone.
My old whole set in my Sierra was like that before I changed to the new turbo. My old turbo was like that. Second gear, Conor and me would have been side by side doing the speed limit. And Civic Type R, 187 horsepower. Well,
To be fair, if you're racing a Civic, they can't do much more than the speed limit.
yeah,
All
well,
nice.
that's why it worked out legally.
Yeah.
But literally, and my car, like, Conor and me have been doing the speed limit, and then I'd have hit maybe 4,800 RPM,
And she go.
and boom, 75 mile an hour, because you're allowed to do that on the road to Letterkenny.
Yeah.
But it's
Comes on you
120k,
like that.
and just like that, and it was, but it wasn't. Whereas now, my car's so much more controllable.
It's more fun.
But
It's boosting from eight on
we're chasing the wrong numbers, and I think if you actually
Yeah,
look
agreed.
at like car reviews from like the 90s and the 80s, like I always remember like American car reviews talked about a lot, and they talked about a thing called elasticity,
Mhm.
and there was this idea that. And it always was in like, do you know, when they had like an RX-7, like a normal RX-7 in like as a brand new car that you could buy in America in like 1996. And they talked about elasticity and this idea of like, without having to shift down, can you overtake? Okay?
Yeah.
Or while you're in third, without having to shift down to like second,
Mhm.
can you overtake, and how quick does that take? And it was a concept that like defined a lot of the 90s and how cars in the 90s were built for normal consumers, because the idea was if you wanted to go quick, well, you were either having fun or you were actually just trying to overtake.
Mm.
So there's no point in all of your power being right at the top. There's no point in any of that. Like And yeah, I think we're just like Golf 4 versus Golf GTI is the basic example of that.
GTI is way better.
A GTI, even though a modern GTI is 260 brake and a Golf 4 is 333, a GTI will feel a lot quicker.
Yep.
Because it's constantly breaking traction. You constantly feel like you're fighting the car. A Golf 4 just goes. And a Golf 4...
You can drive a Golf 4 very quickly without even realising.
Like, don't get me wrong, Golf 4 is a brilliant car. And look, I was very lucky that I got to drive like the pre-production, the prototype with the car didn't even have a VIN plate. So for the Mark 8.5, it had like a roll cage, bucket seats. It was the Golf 4 Estate prototype. The car has since been crushed. But that was my first.
As Aaron rolled it.
Yeah. But like, again, a cool experience, but the car just felt slow because when you're in that size of a car with 4-wheel drive, it kind of just feels like a slow RS4 and you start just comparing it to the stuff above it.
Yeah, okay, I get
it's not powerful enough to break traction on its own.
Yeah, it's in a weird middle.
Yeah. So it's not powerful enough to break traction on its own.
It's
so
too
the
powerful to have the
GTI,
crack.
but it's too powerful to have GTI style fun in it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of...
You see that on this, I think, you definitely see it our side of the country, and I think during the summer when all the Dublin people come down for their holiday homes and their big beamers.
Down to Conceal.
And suddenly they can't outrun you and you're in like a 150 horsepower car going, come on, get out the fucking way, you bastards. Like, it's a country road, move, but
but they don't know how to drive.
They're big power, or you could be following an M4 that cannot outrun you.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, get the fuck out the way.
Those cars aren't made for our roads.
No.
You know?
Actually, one of my favourite memories is Smalls Gap a couple of years ago. We just went down some random Tuesday that I was off, and there was a lad in an M5 flat out, and there was some local fella who was definitely just on his way to work in him again, kind of like, get out my way, and he was forcing him up the gap, and the man before, you could tell he was at the edge of his limits of driving.
But again, when I had the M5, the press car, like that on Malls Gap, absolutely terrible car. I hated that M5.
Oh, you'd far rather have the M2.
I'd rather just not have the M5. I'd rather... I had a Skoda Superb diesel estate the week before that was a more enjoyable car than that M5. And I know that sounds really weird.
No.
But like, I drove around town and like, you kind of get a bit embarrassed by like the noise of it and the grumble of it. So you just whack it into electric mode. Because if you're stuck in traffic, like you're not going to be that.
Aaron likes electric cars.
Changed.
No,
he's got coolies.
No, the M5 changed me. That was the thing, because the M5. Yeah,
that's a good spin. Actually, that's a good spin. You've done a good, reversal car to me, my friend.
M5, so the M5 for a car that had, again, 730 horsepower or 727.
Yeah.
It's an amazing daily. I don't want to come away from a 727 horsepower and say, oh, do you know what, that's a great daily, that.
Yeah.
That's a really weird concept.
Yeah.
And like, it feels just like an SUV that's just been squashed. So like, going up Malls Gap.
They are like 2.4 ton.
But the biggest problem is not the weight, it's the size. The thing is massive.
They're huge.
So like, going up Malls Gap, the biggest issue that I felt was like, you're always completely taking up the road. And
you're running the cat's eyes.
And you're running the cat's eyes, or you're running the gravel.
You basically can't come to a stop to let someone by.
Do anything with it. It's only real party trick. Like, don't get me wrong, it handles well around bends and all of that, but it's too big for the bends. It's like, do you remember when a couple of years ago they released like Malls Gap for like Assetto Corsa?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty sure.
But it's scaled wrong or something.
The scale was wrong. The scale was wrong, so a Mark II Escort almost took over the whole road.
It's like Mandela Park and Carrick Drift Race is the same. It's
and that's
wrong.
That's what the M5 felt like. It was like the scale was wrong in comparison.
LOL, wrong cheat code.
So again, that's a really quick car, and it's bad that, like, when I look back on cars I've driven last year, a 993 turbo with 450 horsepower, small little car with good horsepower and 4-wheel drive, was my favorite car to drive all year. 959, really special car, but in terms of like driving experience and like the feel of driving it, that was my favorite. The M5 is actually, I'd rather have, like, again,
A 550D.
BMW wouldn't like me saying this, but I'd take like the Octavia RSs, the petrol 260 brake Octavia RSs over that M5.
But for this country, yeah.
Because
that makes sense.
and again, it's like I was on the motorway dropping as I was going up to Dublin to drop it back, and I was like, this is the ultimate blue balls, because like you're barely tickling the engine doing 120,
Mm-hmm.
but if you do put down the shoe, you're losing your license. Okay,
There's no in
so
between.
it's
The
like
only thing you
it's
can do.
it's the biggest blue balls, because you can't. The only thing that car is really, really good at, aside from being a daily,
Getting away from the tools.
yeah, and like that actually happens too quickly, and because of the electric motors and all of that, there's actually not enough of that. That's like, it's literally one gear, or like, you know, maybe 1.5 gears,
Oh, okay.
and you're at 100, because the electric motor kicks in straight
You
away.
have to let off because your
Yeah.
velocity is carrying you, keep going.
Yeah.
Or some other person in another lane.
Yeah.
really.
Or
Yeah.
you have the granny who went to the fast lane to use her beat car.
Yes.
And is suddenly just coming straight across you.
And like, look, on the Autobahn, amazing, you can do 300 kilometers an hour if you want to, but we don't have that.
No.
So like, maybe there's this kind of point where we
Yes.
actually think about those kind of things. And like, even the M2, like, look, it's probably too powerful a car for Ireland. We have a think about, like, actually, this loops back to last year. We talked about this idea of great reset.
Yep.
And that we should have a reset of like what an enthusiast car is, because otherwise we're going to look at this like RS6 is about to become hybrid. I think the new RS5 was released today. Don't know what the powertrain of that is. I think it's just going to be a V6 petrol. But like, we're getting to a point where none of these cars are actually enjoyable the way,
A car
like,
should be enjoyed.
in a way, an RS4 was an amazing car when it was 350 brake from standard, or 300 brake from standard, and then you could get it up to 600 through tuning. An RS2 or an S6 or an RS4, like my 5-cylinder turbos, they were 230 brake from standard. A chip tune brought them up to 290
Aye.
straight away. Like, you know, they left so much on the table, but that was the fun of it, because you felt like you were cheating the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, look, if you're a mad Scandinavian or an Eastern European lad, you're getting 600, 700, 800 horsepower out of those.
Kurva.
Bang, happy.
The Swedish lads who have those cars, and like, they're at 400,000 kilometers, and they're
I mean,
like,
the Swedish lads
now
are-
is the time to give this car 500 horsepower. And it's like,
Because he's just quit out of Scania and brought a fucking truck turbo with him.
just put a massive truck turbo. But like, again, that was the fun of it, because you felt like you were cheating the manufacturer. You felt like you were cheating everything. When the cars are already at 500, 450, 500 plus, it takes the fun away from it.
Yeah.
Like, a 993 Turbo, when that was released, was an incredibly quick car.
Yep.
Like, that was, like, there was not much, like, you were destroying Ferraris, you were very close to like the hypercars
Mm-hmm.
of that era.
Yeah. And now you're, well, we won't call it mid-range Ferrari because there's no mid-range Ferrari, but you're kind of the main seller of Ferrari is 1,000 horsepower.
Like, I drove a Roma last year. Now, a Roma is like an entry level,
It's the California.
Yeah, essentially the new California. And that car, I think the one I drove was like 700 horsepower.
Yeah.
That's unnecessary.
And like, is the person, like, does the person, like, don't get me wrong, amazing experience. You feel like you're going to die straight away in a convertible. And it's like, does the owl lad who's buying
This, as his Ferrari,
really need 700 horsepower? But he does, because if he wants to have bragging rights in the pub,
I was going to say, because some other Langer in an RB36 is going to pass him out.
not even a lad in RB, like a lad in a Tesla. And that's the kind of the fight you have now, is a lad in a Kia EV6. Like, imagine being in a pub and being like, oh, my Ferrari. And then some, like, Jack comes along, it's like, the Kia EV6 GT from Works has 650, whatever it is, horsepower.
Instantly.
It's like, that completely ruins the game, and none of this is fun anymore. And maybe we actually, out of protest, need to actually just enjoy the slow cars again.
Bring back.
Maybe that's, yeah.
Is that where we end the thing? Go enjoy slow cars.
I think so. That was going to be my tie-up of what do we think. So how do we summarize like this year's then episode?
Exactly the same as last year.
Cheers.
Great reset. We all need to be driving
Old slow cars.
106s and
GTAs
Saxos
and
again,
Saxos.
and Starlets.
Everyone needs to sell all their high-powered stuff. And
Just
buy
give it to raffle
Starlets.
companies. Raffle it all off.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year for the same conversation again, folks.
Again, just done differently.
Hey lad, that was savage. That was savage conversation. Like,
I look, to be fair,
again, I regret that I wasn't able, obviously, to get down to Cork. But
see,
because farming and all that crack, and
well,
look,
I was away with work.
it worked completely out
Yeah.
for yourself and all, and funny, like I was, I've been talking to ones there quite recently, and it's funny. They're like, I always meet Michael, I never meet you, and I'm like,
Oh, this must have been Kieran Riley.
because just farming and that, and at the end of the day, like animals don't feed themselves, they don't milk themselves and all that crack too. But no, like fair play, Michael. It was a savage bit of conversation. All that was had.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It's always good to get down to them, lads. But yeah, to finish off the podcast then, you can follow the pod on Limit Slip Differences on absolutely everything: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can follow me at @MichaelScullin_, but I don't really post as much as I used to. Trying to do more on the TikTok, or not TikTok, on the brand rather than my personal account.
You can follow me at Conor.McGoo and everything.
He posts even less than I do.
Yes.
Did you see how many views the Massey?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually, it took off 600
Yeah.
and some likes.
Is it like 21-something thousand views?
Yeah.
Or is it factor of 10? Is it 210,000 views?
I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah, people see this is stuff like you can spend a lifetime like putting, like, editing something really good together, and then that was a upload of a WhatsApp video
but to
I
be
sent
fair,
to
at the
you.
same time, when do you ever see something like that?
Well, I was going to try and do an actual proper video, because for as long as anything, I've always been sitting going like, I've been typing in Massey 35 slurry mixing for a lifetime now, and if there's a couple of videos of stuff on YouTube, but I was wanting to do a proper video so people would actually be like, oh, I so you can. And it just means that, like, if anybody else is in the same position as me, where they maybe have the one tractor and they're doing everything and they have like an old 4000 in the shed, there is an option. But let me figure out if it's actually a good option before I post anything more. In the meantime,
if you all thought I bluffed that, I fucking did.
good man, Conor.